There we go. I was working out today and my muscles weren't working. I was trying to move the camera and I think it's a little off here. Let's adjust. Where we don't feel like we're falling off a ship. Whoa, I think that's okay. Maybe not. Maybe a little more even here. There we go. I've been doing some private readings, and when I move my camera, sometimes it moves my big camera and throws everything off, and that's all right. Little adjustment is okay. So, hello, Zen friends. Hope you're having a blast and enjoying the moments. Let me get my little desktop all set up here, and we'll get into stuff, get into trouble, get into the tea, and see what Spirit has for us tonight. Always excited about what Spirit has coming in for us. So, thank you guys so much for being here, and I'm so grateful that you're joining. And before we get into everything, let us um, come back to this moment, which I need to do because I'm all discombobulated. So we'll come back to this moment through a big, deep breath. Hold it for as long as you feel comfortable, and then a slow exhale out. And coming back to the now, out of the future, out of the past, out of the chaos of the outside world, to this beautiful bubble of love. And then we'll bring in more energy through the singing bowl. So if you want to join me, let's take that deep breath right now. So big deep breath in. Beautiful, beautiful. And then I will hit the singing bowl 3 times. And each time we do that, we can just imagine that beautiful love that's all inside of us just expands and goes into our mind and all of our thoughts and beliefs and stories and into our hearts and all of our emotions and to our physical body and to all of our cells, our joints, our sore muscles. I've been working out and all our joints, every cell of our body, and into our spiritual energy, to all of our chakra system, all the meridians, energetic meridians that run through our bodies into our auras, filling us up like the singing bowl and flowing out to the outside world, allowing it to do what it wants to do out there. Of course, something we can do to help raise our own vibration is focus on just one little thing that we're grateful for right here, right now, in this moment. Immediately zaps us into a higher vibration, allows us to receive messages from spirit, and magnetizes us to receive more of what we're grateful for. So always a win win, win win, win win win, right? So I will do that. So 3 times. Here we go. Remember, gratitude. beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much for joining me and doing that. I love it. I love it. I love it. Such beautiful energies all the times. So we'll put her back here so you can watch over us. So hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Excited for our adventures today. And thank you for being here. If you're new to my channel or new to these readings, hello, I'm your brother Z, and we're here to spill the tea. And if you want to know how the whole process works, it's all listed down in the description area. We do have a great group of Zen friends with huge hearts, great senses of humor. And of course, we always have more room for more Zen friends. So you're always welcome here. We try to keep it high vibration, full of love and joy and laughter. So welcome. Uh, Briefly, how it all works. Free readings are first come, first serve. Generally 1 to 2 card readings. Just put your question out or ask for a general reading if you don't know what you want to ask, or you don't want your business to be all spread out there, and that's all right. We understand that. You can do that. If anyone makes a donation, I do honor that energy exchange, prioritize those readings, and we dive deeper, meaning we pull more cards for that too. So we spill more tea for those. You also get a fortune cookie. Would be an oracle card of some sort that is just a little extra dessert to round out your reading. If you want to make a donation, you can use the super chat at the bottom of the chat or in the description area of the video. I do have my Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, Square, and newly have added Google Play. Haven't tried that yet. I didn't test it out. So if you have Google Play, feel free and we'll make sure it works too. But it is set up there. All that is listed down in the description area. I don't have any set dollar amounts either. Whatever you give from your heart is the perfect amount, because I know you're given what you can. Cost of living is different. Rate of exchange is different across the world. All of that, income differences. So I know you're given what you can. And I also know that not everyone is in a place to give. That's why I do try to get to free readings every session. And so if 2.5 hours in, I have not completed any free readings, I do step away from donations, do at least 30 minutes of free readings, go back and finish all donations, and then I go back and finish out all free readings normally. As long as I have time and energy, we try to complete as many as we can. And at the end of each session, I do post a pinned comment listing all the readings completed with timestamps. I know, as I say, we are fancy here. So if you come back after the stream, you'll see it. Find your name, click on that. Takes you right to your reading. So it's handy dandy as well. What else? What else? I do offer personal readings as well as energetic hedges. If you want to find out what any of that it's about, it's all down in the description area too. But every new moon and full moon, I do have a giveaway where I give away one 30-minute personal recorded reading or one of my energetic hedges if you want that in lieu of reading. And to get into those drawings, you just have to check out the video for each. I put out a new video every 2 weeks ish because that's every new moon, full moon. And then you can just take a look there at this. This is the one here. There's a playlist down in the description area. So if you ever, or on my main channel, if you ever are like, oh, what's the current drawing? You can just go to that playlist and the most recent one will be at the top. And the playlist is always linked in my description area too. What else? What else? We do have, before every new moon and full moon, I do put out a little video about making the most of the moon energy. And this is the one for the Pisces new moon coming up on March 18th, which is amazing because it's the new moon in Pisces, which is dreamy energy. And then we have spring equinox that starts 2 days afterwards with Aries season. So there is this action, putting our dreams into action. So be sure to check out to make the most of the new moon wishes and new moon inspirations. That's also the word, intentions. So if you check that out, then you can find out more about that as well. And then, excuse me, we also have a free podcast called The Easier Path. And it's all about some of my trauma in my life, or someone else who has volunteered their drama or trauma and wanted to know more about it. Every once in a while, I'll get those from my Zen friends. And We look at why the human does what it does and Spirit's perspective and then Spirit's advice on how we can make it an easier path instead of a harder one. So check it out. This was the most recent adventure called Window Wonder about the different perspectives depending on which window you're looking out of in life, right? But it's really interesting. I always find what Spirit has to say, just like, thank you. Because I do want an easier path now. I learned the hard way a lot in my life. I'm in the mood for an easier path for a while. But check those out. Again, the playlist for everything are always down in the description area and at the very top of my YouTube channel if you click on my name and go there. Oh, there was something else I wanted to mention, right? Yeah. And on Wednesdays, my Wednesday session, I talked about that Jupiter has gone into Cancer. Well, it's been in Cancer, but it went direct. So we had some sluggish energy around Jupiter in since November, and now it just has gone direct. So we've got some great energies, things that are moving forward that Cancer rules over, like home and family and house, even. Um, so if you're wanting, I follow follow several wonderful astrologers and other individuals and even other tarot readers. But this was from Annie Botticelli. Let me just I'll put Annie's channel just so we know what this link is here that I'm throwing out here in the chat. But she breaks it down by sun sign or by sign, how this Jupiter in Cancer impacts each of us. And Jupiter goes into like a new sign every year. It takes a whole year for it to go into a new zodiac sign. And so it moves into Leo on June 30th. So we have a few months yet where it impacts us. So if you're interested, check that out. I tried to give you little tidbits on little important things that can help us enjoy this human adventure. So enjoy. All right. So let's do some shout outs. Make sure we got the list all update here and we will get into the readings. That's what we're here for, to hear from Spirit, learn and grow, and see what we need to know. You're welcome, Deb Deb. And so Deb Deb is in the house. We'll start at the bottom of the list here. So hello, Deb Deb. Good to see you. Thank you so much. I see your donation here. So we'll get you on the donation list here. So thank you for that. Loving the easier path. I know, much better than that harder one. At least now on this side of it. So hello, hello. And then we've got Lee Hutton. Hey, Lee, good to see you. Thank you for your donation. We'll get you on the donation list here as well. So good to see you. All right. And so we have here. And then Marissa Smith. Hello. Good to see you. I do have your two PayPal. So we got you on the donation list. So good to see you. And we got JoJo. She might or might not be awake or asleep. We just never know because she is a nocturnal animal. If she's here, she'll laugh. If not, I'll have to make sure I told her that. I'm sure she would agree. And then I think that's it for donations right now. For the free reading list, I have Miniheel, Touch of Love, and Aditi on the list too. So those are from earlier. So if you guys are here, hello, hello. So once we get to the free readings, you guys will be up first there. Jojo, she is here. Hey, Jojo, you are a nocturnal animal, right? Three little smiley faces means yes. All right. Yeah, you're a spider. You're in a spider web. You are. You're so funny. So cheers, cheers, everybody. I'm gonna take a sip here. Thank you for so much all the thumbs up and the likes. Does help spread the Zen love, and I'm so grateful for that. You are part of the love tsunami, helping spread love to the world, and I'm so grateful. Thank you guys for being here. I love you. Cheers, cheers. All right. So the donation list will have JoJo up first, and then Marissa times 2, and then Lee, and then Deb Deb. You'll be up after that. So that is where we be at. Tonight, I am switching to using this Lumina tarot. We are still in Capricorn moon till tomorrow afternoonish, at least our time. And when we move into Aquarius moon for a couple days. So get ready for some exciting, uh, interesting, weird, emotional energy from Aquarius moon. All right. And then we will continue to use the Queen of the Moon Oracle tonight for the first donations. Additional donations, we will continue to pull from the Dreamers deck. So I still feel like we want to use these. Spirit always inspires me to pull different oracles. And so and they're like, nope, keep those for now. I'm like, all right, there must be messages that are going to come out. So, all right. So, Jojo, I didn't see a question yet. So if you throw that out, we'll go to you first. And then I do have Marissa. Thank you. I got both of your questions in your PayPal. So I do have those. And Lee from England. I love it. And let's see here, Lee. Um, so just I don't see your question out there yet. Lee, let me make sure I'm not missing it. Oh yeah, question for love, romance. Born in book true. So we'll pull that. Okay, very good. And then Deb, of course, yours is right there on your donation. So we are good. Just kind of check because YouTube's been keeping secrets between you guys and me, away from me. Sometimes they don't, I don't see the question, even though you guys post them. So I like to make sure that we have them there. All right. So I see your question, Jojo. So we are up. So Jojo, you have 1654, 1654. It's almost like a countdown of sorts. So here is your timestamp. And you want to know, what did he think about our talking today? All right. Did you give him a talking to? Let's take a look here. What did they think about it? Let's see what we got here. All right. What is going on with them? Oh. I love that I get to see the cards first. Na, 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 na. I'm a little sassy today, I must say. So I was listening to some 2000 trance music earlier and jamming out. So I'm in kind of a hyper mood. I don't know what's going on. Did he overthink before you met? Well, the bottom of the deck energy is a bit lovers, the lovers card. I love this one has wolves howling at the moon. But yeah, hence the shirt, the sassy little shirt. I actually was wearing this walking one day and uh there was a biker coming this way and they were like, wow, that cat looks fierce. And I'm like, that's right. I didn't do that. Because they were gone already. But but I do feel here they've got a little bit you know, a little bit of energy here. You're finally well, you got the lover's card there. So definitely the big piece of the underlying energy is they feel like at the very least an important relationship in the moment. So very much, you know, in that mindset. Let's see what the reading cards are here. Yeah, we got the Maiden of Cups. So the Page of Cups, again, emotional energy, this heightened emotional energy, very happy. It seems like after you guys chatting, just high vibrational emotional energy coming in there. So um, their heart was vibrating, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because you got the moon energy coming in with the Knight of Wands. So we got this little flowing look, the fox. The fox is revisiting you. But the Knight of Wands is, of course, movement of passion, energetic, and physical attraction. Moon card, a lot of emotions below the surface. That's here too. Um, but I do feel here with the moon and them coming out at the same time, it's very much this suppressed energy because it's like they're not an open book. I feel like they are like a you know, it's hard to read them emotionally unless you're empathic and you're picking up stuff, right? But I feel like they really shield a lot of their emotions and their passions because they feel like um, vulnerability until I feel like for them, trust isn't automatically given. Trust has to be granted. I mean, earned. Like me in my life, I trust really, really, really easy, but if you break my trust, you'll never get it back again. So, there's are others that we have to, it's usually what 2 camps, right? You either it's hard to earn someone's trust, you have to earn it, other people give it, and if you lose it, you had your chance. So, I feel like they're more of that, right? Yeah. Well, it's like, do you give people the benefit of a doubt? Do you Or like, "You know what? I trust that people are honest and loving and everything until you show me otherwise. Innocent until proven guilty, not suspicious until they're proven innocent." This is, I'm suspicious until people prove that they're innocent and trustworthy, and then I open up and then, show that, right? Yeah. We'd have the Hanged Man, which makes sense. We got this Neptune Pisces energy. Um, a very a deep feeler here with all this energy. You got the Lovers card, um, the Moon card, and the Hangman with three major arcana, which feels like they're going through a lot of emotional reflection energy, deciding how they want to feel about things. But I feel like they do this is that waiting, pausing energy, wanna see things from a different perspective, and then they open up. Also a Pisces, that would make sense. And another major arcana, the World card with, oh, I didn't know that was Saturn. Um, so they definitely have this transformational energy that's going on. The Hanged Man is like caterpillar transfer into a butterfly. The world card is an ending of a major cycle, ready for a new adventure. So they're ready to end old cycles and begin new things. But I feel like they are one of the big things with them, with the world card going into the full card, starting all over at the beginning at zero, is zero expectations. Doesn't want expectations on them because that is what makes them fear not being enough and being abandoned and failing, and so they like to just flow with things without intentions and different things like that, and they just wanna kinda see what happens, what unfolds. Yeah, 6 of Swords. Letting old ways of thinking pass away, moving into new ways of thinking. Is that a puppy dog? Is that a puppy dog? It looks like a puppy dog in the clouds, in the stars, but this is it makes sense with all this. They're changing mindsets, trying to move from choppy waters to calmer waters in their life. Underneath all of that, yeah, the Five of Cups. They got a lot of this emotional conflict that's going on. Some spilt cups in their past. They feel things very deeply and hugely. Um, but especially if they are a Pisces, with all this emotional energy, it doesn't feel like that it drowns them because 'cause they're a fish, they're just like, "Whoa, that was a lot of water," you know? It doesn't destroy them, but they do feel it and express it, and I do feel like with all this Lovers card, which is the power of emotional choice, that they are trying to choose differently when emotions flow because 'cause they're tired of choosing the dark side of the pond instead of the brighter side of the pond. being a fishy in a pond with water, as kind of Pisces do. So I feel like that's kind of where they're at. Let's see what your fortune cookie brings in too. What else they got here for you? Yeah, of course. I don't doubt it. You're very empathic and you're picking up at all, but you're like, why am I not see it on their face? But I'm feeling all this other stuff. What's going on here? That's weird. But it's great confirmation. And that's how we learn, right? I know that's how I learned to trust my intuition is going, what? Because growing up, um, you know, having a stellium in Pisces and a big grand water trine and a small water trine that creates this kite. It's all this water energy. And I've had readings like past life readings and different things from readings. And the readers were all talking about my childhood, how it was weird that you felt people were feeling a certain way, but they had all these masks that they were wearing, and it was difficult for me to navigate that in the beginning because I'm like, why are everyone acting different than how they're feeling? And it was like, huh, all right, and I feel like that's kind of what you're going through is going, why are they acting this way when I know I'm picking up all this other stuff? And so you get good confirmations through things and through time. So I love that. Your fortune cookie number 4, you got this acceptance energy. Look at reaching out. Zap. Mm-mm. Um, a masquerade ball. So, acceptance of the current situation is the first step to change. The past does not exist. The future hasn't happened. There is only right now. Not your fortune cookie. Your affirmation is I accept where I am and who I am right now. When we examine our lives and engage in some truth telling, we are often confronted with what really is. This realization is powerful, but often we reject this truth if it's too hard to bear or we're afraid of accepting something so difficult. Each of us at some time has dodged our blind spots and then had the illumination of what actually is eventually confront us. What we do next is crucial. Do we accept exactly where we are, no matter how painful or confronting? Or do we retreat back into our illusions and remain stuck or unchanging? This might be some of their energy really coming in here. Choosing to accept ourselves fully and the position we are in enables us to take that next step towards growth. When we can plant our feet solidly into the earth and say, yes, here is exactly where I am, and I accept this fully, then we can take the next steps confidently, honestly, and powerfully towards where we now wish to head. Accepting where we are right now in its fullness allows us to also accept that there may be some chaos in our change before there is full order again. This can be an exciting feeling rather than one that generates fear if we hold our new intentions clearly. Very interesting. The companion stone of this is lapidolite. So I love that. I feel like that's a lot of their energy of, going from their dreamy existence into reality and kind of reconciling that, it feels like. So that is what they have for you, my dear. So many blessings. Yeah, a little for you and a little of them too. Wonderful mirrors, everyone always is, right? So I love that for you. Thank you again for your donation. I appreciate that so much. All right. Yeah, Lee. You think you're a captainship or captain's mate. You jumped a few times. Oh, how fun. Yeah. And I do past life readings. If you want like a detailed past life reading, if you check out the description area, the if you want a live one, I do those live too. But I have the personal recorded readings, and if you want a past life reading, we can dive into one. We have had so many different lifetimes, and like one right now, I'm doing someone's grandchildren, and they've been bringing through 3 lifetimes that they've all had together. Um, each separate one, and it's amazing when we dive into these past lives. I get to watch the movie kind of unfold and kind of experience the, who people were. So I love that. Oh, it's a beautiful purple stone. Thank you, Deb. Lepediolite sounds like something that you feed babies or, if you're dehydrated. So I was like, I wonder what that looks like. So thank you, Deb. All right. So we'll continue moving on here. Up next will be Marissa. Cheers, cheers to you, everybody. Sounds like feet. How funny. Okay. So up first. So next one we have Marissa Smith. This is for your first one. Here's your donation. Let's dive into your PayPal. Your question is over here. Hey, good to see you. I want to know, what do you need to know about your child's father? Okay. Let us find out here. What spirit feels is important for you to know right now about the father? All right, we got this and this, and then into this one too. All right. Evidently, they got some stuff to share. All right. Let me just scooch these over. There was quite a bit here. All right. Have my space. Bottom of the deck, we do have the Judgment card here. And it's an interesting energy, this here. I think this is Pluto, right? Because Judgment card is like seeing things from a higher perspective, a different perspective, but being drawn into something that's more in alignment with our energy. And I don't feel like that's them. I feel like this is meant for you because I want to hit this little button over here. No means no. For some reason, they wanted me to do that. And it's almost like they're saying, uh, the that this father of your children doesn't match your energy. And, so they had me want to hit that, so that's a little ha ha, funny, funny. But let's see what else we have here. So, let's take a look. We've got the Queen of Swords and the Hierophant coming in here. So, the Hierophant energy of 5, they're actually like the master of change and more of a stepping stone energies that are coming in here. So, I feel like that's what they're saying is that, you know, they served their purpose in your life as a stepping stone to show you what you want and what you don't want. The Queen of Swords is this energy of finding this individual who is so compatible and fits like a glove in so many ways that it's like, um, again, that they were a stepping stone to show you what you want and what you don't want in a relationship. But I don't feel like this is like a fated relationship that you're to be with them the rest of your life or anything. I feel like they were a stepping stone among others to help you get across the stream to get to the other side where someone that is like the Queen of Swords or King of Cups has this, right? Oh, wow. So he has to go. Boom, boom. We decided we were gonna come together, create this beautiful child, and be, the source of this other beautiful soul coming into the world. "Alright, I'm done." Like this. "Bye. We're done with you." Alright, let's see what else we have here. Yeah, the 4 of Pentacles. And I do feel here too, you learned a lot here about that your worth didn't depend or isn't attached to someone else's actions or non-actions, their words or their silence. And I feel like that's a big piece that you learned through that relationship with him is I feel like you were in that place in your life that, you were defining yourself by relationships and situations and things and you realized, "Oh, this doesn't define who I am." And I feel like that was like a big spark and helped you really face a lot of that, wounds, like childhood wounds. You face that a lot because of them, and so they were a good mirror for you. And again, like you said, they served the purpose. Um, and now you don't need to repeat a lot of those lessons that you had from them. I feel like you had a few stepping stones that reflected that, but you're like, I've had enough of those. I have all the information I need. I'm doing my reflection on those, and I don't need that anymore. So I like that for you. Yeah, because you really do have this, magician energy, the 6 of 1 energy. You're really stepping into your power, your worth, and you understand, yeah, this is passion, with the 6 of 1s, this equal passion for one another is something I want. And I feel like you guys definitely had the passion down. It's like, oh yeah, heat, right? Um, but it's the emotional connection and the talking and the communication outside of that was the trouble with them, right? It just feels like it was hot and passionate and, not a whole lot I feel maybe matched up to that with anyone else. But you're like, that's not all that there is, We have lives that we live outside the bedroom, and though it's fun and though it's exciting, and that's definitely a part of what we do want with someone, we want more, right? What else about them here? Yeah, I got the Page of Cups. Yeah, you want heightened emotion, and something to know about them is that because they don't love themselves a whole lot, they haven't learned self-love, they can't give you something they don't have for themselves. So oh, he lived up to that, did he? Oh. So there is this, um, you know, cycle of this where, because of this little, um, snake eating itself back here, that represents cycle here behind there, that, you know we were learning our self-love and we were drawing in people who didn't have self-love so that they kept pointing us back to ourselves. Because if there was someone that could give us a lot of love, we would be like, "Okay, that's not good enough." But if when we are meeting people that can't give us self-love, then it's very stark and it's very apparent, and that points us back inward and upward and go, "Oh, that's what I'm looking for," because they could never give it anyway, but they were very limited in their self-love, and so they couldn't give you something they didn't have for themselves either. I got the 7 of Wands. Yeah, they have a lot of energy of wanting to be seen, not dimming their light, not asking permission to shine, but I feel like they have a lot of that's an important energy of us. We don't need to dim our light. We don't need to ask permission. We don't need to defend who we are. But if we want to be in a relationship with people, we seek to understand each other and try to share with someone where we're coming from. I feel like with the, this individual that they were just kind of like, I'm me, just deal with it, kind of energy. And they didn't understand that other people could be thinking and believing and having different approaches. They just couldn't get it that other people think differently and other people want different things. And they just think, people are crazy, because they don't, it hasn't like dawned on them yet that everyone's raised differently and sees things differently. So I feel like they were very much this bright, again, shiny thing. Here I am, everybody. And they really want to be seen and they had this need to be wanted and to be seen by a lot of people. That's why I feel like they have a hard time sticking with one person because it's like the spark wears off and they constantly need new spark kind of energy, but it's because they're not being fulfilled on the inside that they're looking for a lot of it in the outside world, which means multiple multiple interests physically and passionately seems to be their kind of uh, mo. 3 of Pentacles too, triangles. I feel like there's always someone in the wings, always a third person that's being entertained, with that 3 of Pentacles. Yeah. So we do have this here. We've got the 7 of Cups. So there's a lot of love interests below the surface. And with this Jupiter Sagittarius energy, again, this fiery kind of energy below the surface. And, again, the Wheel of Fortune is everything happens for us. It wasn't an accident. You learned a lot about yourself, but as you said, they did they did serve their purpose. Um, the mirror showed you exactly what you wanted to see about yourself, and I feel like you're still reflecting on some of the things you learned from them, because I feel like some of the stuff is really deep rooted and went back years and years, but you definitely grew because of your experiences and because of the vibration you experienced with them. So, yeah, I feel like it's good to know that they've served their purpose, and I don't need to invest any more energy or thought into them anymore. For your first fortune cookie, we will come here to the Queen of the Moon Oracle, and then your second one will come from the Dreamer's deck. Yeah. So, what a perfect card to represent the Wolf Moon. He howls at the moon like a werewolf, right? Can't really hold in there. It's like a wolf in heat on during full moons is kind of the energy that comes in for them, and you're like, yeah, a wolf in heat is going to do what it's going to do. It's going to howl at the moon, and there's many moons. So, all right. So, feed the good and hope within you. There will always be a lean part of the cycle. Prosperity will come. Do not let your hunger blindly dictate your actions entirely, which I love that because, sometimes when we get lonely, sometimes when we feel empty, we'll go, I wonder if any of these, you know, it's like when we're emotionally hungry and we have an emotional tie to food. It's like if I'm feeling down and I'm tired and I don't feel so well, maybe like headache and just feeling down, sugar cries out. Comfort food, right? And I feel like this is the thing is if you're feeling down, don't look to that comfort food, those comfort people. Your affirmation is I recognize all that I hunger for. What's really behind it? And even when we have like these, they talk about how like when you're craving sugar, you're really craving protein. Or if you're craving, you think you're craving this, but what you're really craving is water, or it's our body. Uh, shows us different desires and different cravings. Like I said, when they actually at the root underneath it, what am I really hungry for? Is important. Sometimes we eat just because we're bored. What do I need? I just need to go for a walk. Get going. So, an old and wise Cherokee of the First Nations of the United States is speaking to his grandson about life. The young boy asks his grandfather, "It is said, grandfather, that everyone has two wolves within them. The first wolf gives darkness, despair, and hate, and jealousy and sorrow. The second wolf gives light and hope and helpfulness and kindness. Yet, grandfather, I feel them fighting within me. What can I do?" Grandfather responds, "My small son, these two wolves will always fight, and they will fight within each person. You're no different." "But," said the boy, "grandfather, which wolf will win?" And the grandfather answers, "Whichever wolf you feed." So it's like whatever energy we're focusing on is what we draw to us. So when we're drawing certain people into our lives, we can ask, what am I feeding myself, right? We must be careful about what we nourish and feed within us. If we give abundance to the aspects of the self that can harm others and ourselves, then we cannot truly thrive. Having no limitations upon these behaviors and patterns hurts us and starves the higher and finer parts of ourselves that will bring us more happiness. To ripple that happiness to others is part of why we are on the planet as humans. We must also recognize that in life, just because it is a cycle, there will always be leaner, less abundant, or less bright times. Yet we have built our resilience and self trust for times like this, and we know we are both loved and protected. The cycle will soon turn to less shadow and more bounty. I love that. The companion stone for this is Amazonite. So I like that. So that's the energy I feel of them here. So that is what we have for your first one. We'll go to your second one here in a second. I'm just going to do some shout outs here and make sure I have everyone on the list. So we've got Irene. Hey, Irene, good to see you. Hello, hello. I don't see a question from you yet. So if you did put one out there, YouTube might be hiding it from me. So please put it out there. If you do have a question, we'll add you onto the list. And Lee here. Oh, we got plate of spaghetti. You want to know Will's energy change? All right, let's take a look here after we made up again. All right, we'll take a look at that. That's funny. A greenstone, thank you. Our resident crystal and stone connoisseur. All right, so I think that was all the new ones that were added. All right, so let's do a quick sip here. So cheers, everybody. And we will get out of here and get into your second one here in a sec. Marissa, let me just take a sip here. I love that, Deb. I'll have to give you a test. No. My host will buy crystals and they'll be like, here, have one of these. And I'm like, what is that? And she goes, here's the list. And you're like, no. Yeah, I won't test you. Instead, I will educate. I'll have a crystal and I go, this one is, I don't know, this is some sort of bee stone. I like it. It's a bee. I think it's the first part of it is bee because it looks like a little bumblebee because it's a little butt. So it looks like a little bumblebee. So I remember that, but I don't remember the rest right now. Yeah, I'll have to tell you what it really is. All right, so Marissa, you are up for number 2. Let's grab that here. All right, and Irene, thank you. I'll grab yours and throw you on the free list here as well. Boom, boom. All right. So we're gonna talk about the one who, how did you say it? He lived up to that. So what do you need to know about Vaughn, the Gemini man? Why he hasn't come back to see you. All right, let's take a look here. Get into Vaughn's energy here. And see what we got. So we've got these, this one here, this here. All right, let's see what we got here. What's going on with the man? So the bottom of the deck, interesting that we got this, and here's the bee again. I was just talking about a bee, but the 4 Pentacles you had in your first reading, I believe, because this is about discovering that, this, and this makes sense because when I was saying that you had several stepping stones that are teaching you or have provided you the opportunity for this, realizing my worth doesn't depend on other people's actions or non-actions, words or silence. So beneath the surface, with this being the bottom card of the deck for your reading, this is part of your realizing, because it makes us question, right? When someone doesn't come back or kind of, you know, has us, kind of question our, something wrong with me? Did I do something wrong? What happened? It's pointing us to our insecurity, right? Which is what all of our wonderful mirrors do. But I feel like that's part of what's going on here, is it's part of your journey to have them not come back to see you, whatever, we'll find out what's going on in their life here, but there's always the human reason why humans do what they do, and then the higher perspective, what's going on behind the scenes, below the surface for us, why it's happening, and this is for us to go like, you know what? Yeah, what they're doing or not doing, saying or not saying has nothing to do with my worth. It's just telling me something's going on with them over there. But what can I glean from it? What gift is in the situation for me to learn and grow from? So I like that. Oh, Bumblebee Jasper. That sounds right. Yeah. If I'll remember, I'll put it over here. I'll send you a closer up picture of it because it has like a little, it's like, it looks like a little bee bottom on there. Not that I've watched bumblebees' butts, but there you go. All right. So let's see what else we have here. What's going on with the Vaughn? Got the Six of Cups, Six of Pentacles. Yeah, so it does feel like someone has come back into their life from the past here. Six of Cups is that kind of energy. And we are in the Mercury retrograde, which brings people back into our life. And the Six of Pentacles does represent like a codependent relationship energy here. So it does feel like there's been a return of someone from the past coming in here. And it is someone that had that kind of, this giving, receiving, codependent, out of balance relationship, which I feel like they've kind of fallen back into. Let's see what else they have here too. Yeah, the ending of a cycle, the beginning of a new adventure. So it feels like a returning cycle with this. Let's see what we can tell more here. I just feel like we're flying along here. We got the Two of Swords. Yeah, two stories. And this is, and it even looks like a return, right? The sword went away, the sword has returned. And it does feel here like, do you ever, of course you probably have felt this with, and I feel like recently with your ex, right? Where you're like, if I don't give it a try, or at least, give it a chance, I'll always wonder what if. I'd rather, someone coming back and I'm not sure to try and have it fail than not try and never know. And I feel like that's the kind of energy here is like they'd rather, give their ex a second chance to see if it works out. And then if it doesn't, they're like, okay, I don't need a third time to make sure I've really learned it this time, kind of energy here. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, we got the Ace of Cups and the Hermit. Yeah, so they are off to themselves here, though, with that Hermit card. And the Ace of Cups is working on their self love, too. And this is part of their journey with that Hermit spirit leading them in their path. Just like you're learning the Four of Pentacles about your worth, they're kind of needing this kind of return of this X of whatever to really nail down the lesson. Um, so I feel like that's a big piece of what they're going is they're learning a lot about their self-love because they're like, well, if they'll give me and show me, and treat me the way that I think I should be treated, then I will be validated. And it's like our validation can only come inward and upward, not outward. And so when we try to find our validation outward, or so, that's really how it will end up here. Yeah, and we have the Knight of Cups, which is movement of heart back into conflict, here, back into the little firestorm they've gone with this other individual. But I do feel like with this, it is saying that it's not going to last very long. Yeah, we got the moon energy, a lot of hidden emotional stuff coming to the surface for him here. And I do feel like, this will bubble everything up from the surface for them to face what's really going on. What's the lesson that they're really looking at here? So, you know, on one hand, you're learning a lot through them not responding back about your own self worth and uh, how we how we can also mirror that, validating ourselves by someone's actions, non-actions, words or silence, as we say. But they're learning a lot. That's where they're at. They're in their own little laboratory blowing up stuff. So, um, will they I'm just gonna pull a quick card. Will they, uh, come back around after that explodes over there? I feel like they will reach out, Knight of Swords. That's, after clarity, I feel like um, they will communicate with you. It might be too late at that point, but I do feel like after all that happens, because I feel like it's gonna be a few months, and then they reach back out, "Hey," and you're like, "Well, look who has returned." But, I feel like by then you'll be in a different place. Let's see what your fortune cookie brings in regarding Vaughn as well. Okay, this one here. Yeah, I love this. I know that I am the only one who determines how my story unfolds. I am the main character. I am no backup plan or, you know, alternate. I am the main character of the story. So I like that. So hopefully that helps there, Marissa. That is what they have for you. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that so much. I love everyone's thirst and I love your thirst for wanting to hear from spirit. So thank you so much. And for your donations too. I appreciate those. All right. So up next we have Lee. You'll be up, and then Deb, you'll be up after that for donations. So cheers, everybody. All right. So Lee, you're at 5632. Here's your timestamp here. And let me see. It will give me, yep, it allows me to give you a love and a like on your donation here. And so love, romance, and then what did you say down here? Um, excuse me, coffee went down the wrong pipe. Here it is. So say boring, but draw predictive. Oh, text by your apologies. Okay, I get you. All right. So let's take a look here on love and romance and see what spirit wants you to know here. And you said, please here. I don't know if you're like, so for if you're wanting to look into a past life reading, you can book one down in the, as it mentions in the description area of the video, either through my thingy blah blah blah, my little channel calendar thingy, or if you prefer any of the other um, options for payment, you can do that and just email me as well. All right. Oh yeah, I did get a text alert. So thank you, Deb. Oh, I'll have to take a look. I'll share it with my host too, because she's got one. Right, let's see what we got here for you, Lee. What about romance and love? Yeah. I don't know if you ever saw the Love Boat, the old Love Boat. They started playing that theme in my head here. Love, exciting and new. Come aboard, we're expecting you. So that's gonna be playing in my head now. But I feel like maybe there is something coming your way. Let's see, with the bottom of the deck, you do have the Five of Cups. Five of Cups can represent sorrow, but really I feel the emphasis is on the number five, which is change. And I feel like you're kind of moving out of some low vibration emotion into higher vibration emotion. I'm seeing Dances with Wolves, if you ever saw that. Obviously, I watched a lot of TV and movies. Like spirit communicates to me a lot through those things, showing me scenes for movies. That's why I share them this way, if you guys are wondering. But it's in this movie, Kevin Costner is falling in love with this um, Native American. Well, she's actually was a white individual that was in a Native American tribe, and they had fallen in love, but her husband, a warrior, had been killed, and she was in mourning, and but they set a date to when the mourning would be over, the chief did, and then when that time came, she came running out of her tent in all white and jumped into his arms and kissed him. And I feel like this is what they're showing me is that you're ready to end kind of this mourning, this loss energy, and you're ready to set a time of going, I'm going to, on this date, I'm ready to start opening up and letting the old pain and hurt go. And I'm open for love. So I like that. Maybe that's what you already did. We had the 7 of Cups, so there is a lot of emotions that are bubbling below the surface here, and you got the snake wrapped around these, so there is this peeling away of some old emotions, shedding of some skin, shedding of these emotions that don't serve you anymore, so there's a little bit of kind of pre-work going on here as you're transforming your emotional energy with this 5 and the 7, so there is this movement here. Yeah, you do have the King of Wands. And I do believe here that this is more of who is coming your way. King of Wands, fire sign energy, um, someone who's passionate, but they also know how to control their passions. It's not like the Knight of Wands, who's like a little, you know, um, randy little chihuahua going around humping everyone's legs because it can't control itself. This is a king who knows when it's appropriate and when it's not to hump someone's leg. No, not to that, but to express passion. So someone who can keep it in their pants. And I feel like that's an important energy for you as someone that can do that. Might a lot of pain attached to other individuals who couldn't, right? But I like this. I feel like a lot of attractive energy. It's a very attractive person. Fire signs usually are. They're like designed like vampires to like, you know, a- attract people, but their energy attracts people. I feel like, and I kind of feel like the Sagittarius energy because I feel like it's someone who likes to travel and learn about new countries and foreign things as well. So I do feel like this is an individual that's you don't know yet. I feel like that'll be headed your way when you're ready. Yeah, and it is a relationship. You got the 10 of cups, beautiful mirroring energy, someone who's very much a compatible person for you. Here that just fills up emotionally fills up your heart, this joy and this joyfulness that comes in. See what else we got here too. So you have the 2 of pentacles, and it's an interesting energy here because I feel like, and even with these, 2 butterflies here, but this 2 of pentacles, I feel like when you're ready, you're going to have 2 individuals show up. One's going to be them, and then one is going to be someone, and I'll see if I'll get any clarity here, if you know them already, but it's like someone you normally like who you would normally be drawn to in the past, like, you're gonna have that, your norm, and then you have this new different King of Wands where you're like, "Wow," and you have this choice of, "Am I gonna go back into more lessons and learn it really, 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 really good? Or am I ready for this new adventure?" And it's a feels risky to you 'cause they're so different than what other people would approve of you being with and all the blah, blah, blah stuff before that had us lower vibrational, do what we've always did and get what we've always gotten. And there's no judgment because we're like, I'm gonna take another route, I want to just make sure I have it all out of my system. There's no harm. We've all done it 5 times me, 5 different people, same person in 5 different bodies almost. Uh, we learn it. Some of us learn it really the hard way, so I never judge because that would be stupid for me to judge people, for doing what I did, right? But, all that to say, you'll be faced with this choice between the 2. Um, so let's take a look here. We've got yeah, you have the 3 of swords and the 8 of wands. So yeah, you have the choice of repeating the same heartbreak or a new fiery passion that moves forward here. This is what I do feel we have it's in the middle between these cards here. And you do have the 7 of swords. So this is the deceit, the thievery. And so I do understand, what we had before was, some heartbreak around people lying and cheating and not telling the truth. Um, and I feel like that's the big obstacle. And so one of the big things before you meet this other person, they're also going through and they're not perfect waiting for you. They're also doing their work at the same time to have you guys reach the same pinnacle at the same time. But there is something here about understanding your fear around being cheated on, your fear of people being distrustful, and find out where the root of that goes back to. Because when we're focusing on the fear of something, because that was my big thing, is um, I experienced a lot of that from my mom growing up, that she felt betrayed and cheated on and all this. And so I had that instilled in me growing up where I was fearing that I was gonna be cheated on, and sure enough, when I focused on, "Oh my god, I'm gonna get cheated on, I'm gonna get cheated on, I'm gonna end up with people who cheat on me," I did, because that was my belief that was unquestioned and rotating, and I feel like that's kinda what you're going through, is questioning and releasing a lot of that, so when you do, find that, individual in the future, that won't be your focus, and it won't be one of your fears because 'cause you'll have learned this sense of worth from, like, inside of you. So, I like that. Let's see what your fortune cookie brings in here. Alright. Let's take a look here. So, you have, yeah, growth, the number 5, the stepping stone energy of the past and this forward growth. So, growing through what experienced before. Yeah, loyalty is everything. And you start by being loyal to yourself, right? So before I read that real quick here, so I learned through mine, uh, they were mirrors, right? And loyalty was so important. I never cheated on them, and Spirit was like, "What did you learn through those?" And I'm like, people are bastards. They're like, "No, no, no, no." You know? So, if they're a mirror for you and they were cheating on you, and I'm like, "Well, I was faithful. I never cheated on them." And they're like, "Well, if you are, self-worth and self-love comes from self, inward and upward. And if you were looking for your self-love and self-worth from them, then," and I'm like, "Are you saying, Spirit, that I was cheating on myself with them because I was looking for my worth out here?" And they were like, "Wink, wink." And I was like, I gotta sit with that for a moment. But it is, like, when you're saying loyalty is everything, loyalty to ourself is primary, because we can't have loyalty from others if we don't have loyalty for ourselves. Boom, right? It was a huge thing. So it says, "Reject stagnancy. To get unstuck, take action. The choice to grow should be made. Expect growing pains when making huge changes in your life. Change is a natural part of life and cannot be pushed against forever. Change should have aim and purpose. Be courageous. You will blossom." Your affirmation: I choose growth. Says, think of a willow tree. Willows often grow on the sandy banks of highly shiftable and changeable rivers, yet they reach huge sizes, successfully growing and holding fast in an unpredictable habitat. How do they do this? Says, when you see a young willow on the banks, for a long while it just looks like a feeble stick. It may have a few branches and leaves, but at the first, the trunk will be fine and flexible rather than robust. What we don't see immediately is the root base. So the willow spends a lot of time establishing a veritable root city under the surface. These roots are long and strong and very numerous, finding their way into many nooks and crannies, holding on to rocks, often established tree roots, and anything that can help with their stability. These roots go off in all directions, thus securing their position just in case the earth begins to shift. Then and only then, once these root networks are established well enough, does the willow put its energy into further growth. The trunk begins to thicken and widen and harden and travels upwards to the sky. However, as they grow, the branches have little of the trunk's supportive thickness. They have instead the instruction that they must be flexible. That's why willows look like they have hair, right? Flexible means they can turn with the sun and survive punishing winds that might threaten to topple the rest of the tree. All of this growth is done with purpose and divine strategy. So the waxing lunar cycle calls for growth, but not growth without aim or purpose. When we understand our current position, accept it, and decide to change, we will naturally grow as people. We might experience some growing pains. After all, transformation of any kind is rarely completely easy and trouble free. Having a strong intention of what the results of our growth will be helps with gaining the courage and resilience to move forward with our growth and into the eventual blossoming of our true self. Wow, I love that. The companion stone for this one is charite. I think it's Charoite. So I like that for you. So that is what they have for you, my dear. So hopefully that helps. And that is what they have. Many blessings to you. All righty. Let's take a look here. We got Lily Cherry Blossom in the house. Hello, hello. Good to see you. Oh, thank you, Nancy. Nancy, welcome. Good to see you as well. Thank you for the donation. I'll get you on the list here. There's only one person in front of you, so we will do that. Oh, and then they said you asked for a reading the other night. You weren't able to see it. Um, so if you go back to that, your name should be in the if you look at the pinned comment and you expand it, you'll see your name, and then you can just click on the link, the little timestamp. It'll take you right to your reading there. So if you still have trouble finding it, comment on it on the video or whatever. So I can't find my timestamp. Then once I'm done with the stream, when I'm checking comments and different things, I'll reply either tonight or tomorrow morning to help you find it as well. Um, if you want to still see the old one there. All right, and I think everyone else got everyone else on here. Yes, we do. All right, so let's do a quick sip here. Cheers, cheers, everybody. So good to see everyone. Thank you again for all the thumbs up. It does help spread the Zen love, and it does show me that you guys are enjoying the channel. You can show me some love, my channel some love. It's free too, which is great, and helps put my channel in front of other people. So cheers, cheers. Thank you so much. The video was deleted. Yeah. Here, what I'll do here, what I will do, because I'm, of course, I can't take time to do it now. I'll just put a note here that after the session, what I can do is, like I'll go find the link to the video because I know it's not deleted. At least I hope it's not deleted because it was out there earlier. But I'll grab the link to that and I can look at the note and find out your timestamp, and then you can go check it out. So what I'll do is I'll post it underneath, like when I post the pinned comment on this session, I under your name, under the donation, I will put the link there. So if you want to come back and look at it, it'll probably just take me like maybe a minute to find it because I know exactly where to look on my channel and everything. So I'll go about that way. You feel so lost, Lee. Well, yeah, definitely. We can dive in deeper too. So if you want ask more questions, we can dive deeper into things for you, Lee. Or if you want a personal reading, we can do that too. Um, I allow one free question per session, so you can ask a variety of questions throughout the 5 days that I'm on too. So whatever you feel, but we definitely, you're not alone in feeling lost as a human because it's not an easy path. But you can also check out my podcast, The Easier Path. There's a lot of free content out there too if you're interested. You're welcome. All right, Nancy. All right, so let's dive back in here. Thank you guys so much again for your patience and getting to your readings. We got Deb up next. 1:15. Whoops. 34. I did grab that wrong. There we go. So Deb, here is your time stamp. And we'll give your donation a love and a like. Thank you so much for your generous donation. I appreciate that. So a general reading, I may have a mentee. Oh, how nice. And a general for this weekend and next week. All right, let's take a look here. So first, yeah, right. Actually, I haven't been out walking for a couple of days, but I did get a lot earlier in the week. In fact, you can't tell because I have some lotion on my nose. My nose started to peel even. Feels great though. I'll be getting back out on my walks probably tomorrow. My left foot was hurting, so I didn't want to damage it by getting out there. But it's feeling a lot better today. All right, let's see what we got here, Deb. So general reading. First of all, let's look about the mentee. I feel like that's what we want to ask first, just kind of just find out anything about, is there a mentee coming your way? Anything you need to know? And then we will look here at a general for this weekend. I think I want this one. I want this one here, and then next week. Those, that one, and that one here. All right. All right, we'll put that over here. Like I don't have any space over here. I'll just put it over here. We'll look at what's on the bottom of the deck just for you overall. That's coming in here. Yeah, we'll find out here. The bottom of the deck, though, for everything, you have the Two of Swords, which is the power of the story, and of course, you have a flying bird up top, up there. Actually, there's one on both sides because it's flip, and yeah, you even have the Ten of Cups with butterflies, flip. So there's this mirroring energy, but also the power of the story, right? And I like it that a lot of what's coming up here for you is this energy of what story do I want to put to this, and even experimenting with it. Of course, with your Aquarius energy of I'm going to put a twist to this and go, I'm gonna create a story around this that is so odd and different just for the heck of it. I like that. I'm gonna flex my power of story and go, I'm gonna flip the story. I'm gonna have it mean this, and you're like, wow, what a different perspective it brings. So I love that. I already know the power of story and the power of choice. But I feel like this is entering an interesting experimental stage. And I feel like you're gonna have some opportunities of things um, and I feel like you're gonna have, like, several stories come to you at the same time. It's kinda what happens, right? Where when you can handle 10 pounds, then there's little weights put on to go, "Oh, now I'm handling 2 sets of weights. I can handle that now. Now I'm handling 4 sets of weights. Oh, okay. This is more challenging. Okay, now 6 sets, and that's how we grow through we get more and more added on and more added on and more added on. This is why I feel like you're gonna have these stories all come at the same time, which you can normally handle quite a lot at this point. But there's, like, all this stuff, and you're like, "Breathe. Okay, I'm doing my practice, I'm doing my breathing, I'm sitting, I'm getting out into nature, I'm doing this, I'm doing all the things. Alright." And it's not as difficult as when you start first working out and you're like, "Oh god," but once you start having muscle and you start building more, it sure you get sore, but it's nothing like the first soreness of going from not working out at all to working out. Can you tell I've been going through that? But now I really worked out hard today, and I can feel the soreness already, so, um but it's a different type than the pain before. So, buckle up, buttercup. Alright, let's see here. What about this mentee? Yeah, you got the Ace of Cups. So it does feel here there is going to be some, um I just feel like this is a positive sign that this mentee might be a good match because there is this, um like they're on a journey of self-love, right? And what a perfect mentor you are for that, because they have the 9 of Swords too, which is, nightmares and insomnia and a lot of fear energy that's coming in. Obviously, understandable with the kind of mentee that they are, cancer scares the crap out of a lot of us. And what else do we have here? Yeah, you got the 4 of Cups, which brings in emotional stability. And you do have the Maiden of Pentacles, the Page of Pentacles, which is a new opportunity, heightened opportunity, but also helping someone see their worth in relationship to the outside world in a different way. Yeah. But the 9 of Swords, it all comes down to fear. You know, she has a fear that you don't have experience with. Really? I think you have experience with all of the standard fears. It's like customer service, you know? Yeah, and it is at the root of it, it's just fear, you know? And you know how to deal with fear, and so it comes down to it. But like I was saying, I've been in customer service, I've been in I mean, I've in my life, I've, like, been in customer service from everything from auto insurance to home medical equipment, even retail, working at different places, um, um, nonprofit organizations. Where else have I worked? But there's this like oh, and, um, investments, there's all these different, places and things, and I was always like, as long as you have the customer service skills, you can learn the subject or whatever service, product that you're servicing. But as long as you have customer service skills, you can learn to be a customer service for anything, right? Um, that's what I feel is like here. Once you learn how to deal with fear, you can deal with any fear because at the root, everything is a fear. It can be expressed in all these different ways. Like, well, I don't have experience with that. That's all right. You have experience with the root fear, no problem, right? So I like that for you, and I feel like that's important for you to know for your even your own confidence, right? Going, you have overcome a lot of freaking fear, right? And so no problem for you, I can handle that. I can learn about that, whatever specific concern they have. But what concern is fear. And so any concern is rooted in fear. So I think we've beat that bat enough. Like beating a dead horse, we don't need to beat a dead bat. So we understand. So and that's the change of the story, right? The change of the story of I'm not I'm not, I'm not familiar with that. I cry shenanigans. I should have wore my shenanigan shirt that says, "If I shenan once, I shall shenan again." But it's calling out the truth of the story going, "No, I have experience with fear, and so that's not a problem. I can help them with their fears, just like any fear." So, I like that. Yeah, absolutely. I have every confidence. Alright, general for this weekend. Let me just take a oops, my coffee turned off. Let me take another quick sip here. Cheers, cheers. We'll move into the second here. Alright, so for this weekend, you got a slow weekend with the 8 of Pentacles. I'm sorry, the Knight of Pentacles. I was reading the 8 of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles, slow moving, slowest moving knight. So it moves kind of slow in the outside world, but the 8 of Pentacles, there is beautiful transformational energy. They're still putting in the blood, the sweat, the tears, the work, but I just feel like it's a slow moving kind of weekend. Things don't unfold quickly and fast, and just enjoy the journey, enjoy doing the things in the moment, I feel is what is coming in with that here. You do have the Maiden of Wands, the Page of Wands. So there is a lot of spark. There is a lot of energy here. That's a fox. I don't know if it's uh, clear enough there, but there's a little fox. There it is. As I flip you off. Sorry. um, so that Maid of Wands, the Page of Wands is action energy. Like I feel like you have a lot of energy this weekend, but um just it feels like it's you get the most of it if you just focus in on the now, doing the thing of the now, not planning a lot of, future things and go, 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 but it's the, focusing in on the moment, doing a lot of um, moment to moment things. It doesn't feel like future planning or inner work or that. It just feels like doing things in the I don't know if it's doing things outside or doing things in the house. It just feels like you're listening to music and you're in the moment. It's like a slow moving weekend, like there's not a whole lot of plans maybe. So it's about but you're doing a lot with your energy. Yeah, and the Maiden of Swords, as well, Page of Swords. Again, the change of story. So there this does come in here with your power of the story. Let me see what these other 2 cards are around this because I feel like it does deal with that. But, yeah, and you have your what is that an owl or a hawk? So you got your flying friend here again. But, I do like this, um, the change of the story that I need to be doing this, I should be doing this, and it's like, "Know what? All that can wait. I'm focusing in on doing what I'm loving in the moment. Where's my excitement pulling me next?" So I feel like the weekend is a lot like that. Yeah, you do have Libra, balancing energy. Here's that letting go of old stories, seeing things from that higher perspective. That's coming in here. And I do feel like it does have to do because Libra rules over the house of like relationships. And so it has to do here. Yeah. And then you got the Eight of Cups, which is leaving behind emotions and relationships that don't serve as well. And I just feel like it's a letting go a lot this weekend and not worried about getting back to people and responding to people. And I just feel like you're cleansing a lot with your stories, going, you know what? Whether I do something or don't do something, if someone else does something or doesn't do something or says something or doesn't say something, I'm just enjoying the moment. And I feel like you're letting go of the future and past expectations and you're just living this weekend, these 2 days. And there's something about changing stories, though. Uh, I feel like they're telling me, like, relatives not getting back to you or, saying they have expectations and people want this, people want that, um, people having problems, and you're like, "Those aren't mine to solve." I like this release of, That's their choice. They get to work through that. I don't have to solve everyone's problems. I like this freedom this weekend, which that's a big story change is I get to take care of me, and I like that. Ah, very nice. So, I like that. You're grooming a small Maltese tomorrow, and I always get into the oh, how fun. Yeah, and what a wonderful dogs are such wonderful, representations of that energy too, of living in the moment, right? So, I love that for you. So that's for the weekend, and then for next week, yeah, you definitely have the magician here really putting your energy into action in the outside world again with the 10 of Pentacles, which has to do with, again, really getting a lot of stuff done in the outside world, like things you want to where you feel accomplished in doing this stuff in the outside world. So it just feels like there's a lot of different things that are coming together in the outside world. You got 5 pentacles above, 5 pentacles below, and there's the busy bee energy. So you definitely have a lot coming towards you. And I do feel here, um, there is this, I don't have to do all 10 things. And that's kind of the or if I feel like where the change of the story is, oh, there's 10 things presented. I must complete them all. No, what's important to you and what's not? You're like, chop, chop, nope, this one, this one. I don't need this, this, this. It's like, no, I don't have to complete everything. So I like that. Right. No, that's fine. Yeah, I'd like to take you to brunch here. Oh, I don't like there. All right. Well, maybe next year you'll be more open to that place. Have a happy birthday. All right, let's see what else happens next week. Yeah. Again, you got the, Queen of Wands energy, so we got this action, action, action energy, but the 4 of Swords is letting go of expectations and having your mind at rest about doing what I wanna do, not what I think I'm supposed to do. So that reinforces this next week. So that change of the story, you know, between that if supposed to, want to, or changing your to-do list to could-do list. That's what I do with mine. I'm like, "Oh my god, I have so much I need to do." No, you have a lot you could do, but what are you gonna do is up to you. So I like that. Yeah, I like it. But it doesn't have to be big things either, it's just a lot of stuff, and it's like, no, that's alright, and I feel like this is the change of story is, of course, you get to say
No, 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 no.
as much as you want. Yeah, you have the emotional choice energy coming in with the Lover's card. So, I get to choose how I feel about everything, and everyone else gets to choose how they feel about everything, and, you know, I get to decide what's important to me and what's not, and, um, no matter what unfolds with these things, I'm the one that gets to decide how I feel going through it. I can't control how everyone else is gonna feel about it, and that's not my responsibility. Yeah, I can make it easier or harder for them to choose lower or higher vibration, but remember, you're the one that gets to choose for you. And you're like, "Yep, that's right." It's either a low vibration story or a high vibration story, and depending on what story I put to things, the emotional soundtrack kinda kicks in to match it. So, I like that. And you have the 2 of Cups, the power of emotional choice. So, I feel like they're trying to tell you something, Deb. You have the power of emotional choice with the 2 of Cups and the Lover's card, which are the same cards, especially around relationships with people, but, we definitely have that there. Yeah, and you have, again, Temperance, which is like your Knight of Pentacles. So there is this kind of just allowing things to kind of flow in and to kind of just go back and forth and knowing everything's going to unfold in perfect timing. And what is my rush? What am I fearing? I'm an eternal being. Um, Not everything has to be done this week. So if people are like, "Oh, I need this," and you're like, "Well, I don't have time this week." "Well, I have some time next week. How about then?" "Well, I really wanted it done today." "Well, if you want me to help you with it, I'll have time next week. If not, keep on going down the call ladder and call the next person that can help you." But that feeling of, "I don't wanna fail someone. I don't wanna disappoint someone," it's like, you know, if people wanna choose to be disappointed, then they needed to experience being disappointed for their adventure. So I'm glad I could help out. My gosh. Alright, so that's what they have for the week. Let's see what your fortune cookie brings in through the Queen of the Moon Oracle. Alright. Of course. You get the master, the queen herself. You got the Queen of the Moon, sovereignty. I love this energy for you because it's all about, "I be the ruler of my life." So you found that balance. It feels like finally your life, right? I'll do what I need to keep my balance. Yeah. And you get to choose. I love this. Let's see here. So you have sovereignty over your own life. Act with grace and confidence. You have the ability to unite disparate people and views should you choose to do so. The buck stops with you. You are powerful. Act like it. I love it. Right? Your affirmation is, "I reign over my own realm." Goddesses of the moon are one of the oldest kinds of feminine divine and feature in mythologies from almost every corner of the globe. From Diana of ancient Rome and the Greek Artemis to the Semitic Astarte and Hina from Polynesia, the link with the feminine divine and the lunar planet in cycles is a strong one. These goddesses, in all their myriad of forms, were extremely powerful and demonstrated to women that they naturally had power as well. We should strive to be the powerful queens of our own domain. Women, especially, have been socialized to defer, to keep small, to be quiet, and to hold a very twisted kind of service that borders on servitude, right? While in many first world countries, women can choose to be what they wish to be on paper, women still experience inequality in most countries in areas such as wage disparity and an imbalance of the numbers of women in government or in high level board positions. That's why the world is so screwed up. Just saying. However, what has been accepted in the past is not what will be accepted in the future. A new queendom is coming. Hallelujah. When we reign over our own lives, it is us that take on the responsibility for our own change and decisions or choices, right? The Moon Queen knows that we, just under the divine, are our own rulers, and as such, the buck stops here. Therefore, it is worth us investing in growing our own self awareness, our own self trust, self care, and self esteem in real and practical ways. We must, as any queen would, set firm boundaries to protect our queendom and those who are under our protection. This does not mean we become cruel rulers. We should always aim for benevolence, fairness, and a great love for all, as well as ourselves. It does mean we may have to push against those who do not respect our line in the sand. Boom. Your companion stone is platinum, baby. So I love that. Enter Queen Deb Deb. Back off. So I love that. Like you said, boundaries. You literally are talking about, this is what I'm able to give. I wish I could do it all, but this is what I feel I'm able to give right now. So I like that. Wow, boom, boom, boom. Deb, Deb, that is what they have for you. So thank you again for your donation. I greatly appreciate that. All right. I'm excited for your little adventures unfolding. All right, let me just do a couple shout outs here and we will get into the reading here. I love it. Hey, Olivier. Good to see you. Hello, hello. And Ravit came in as well. Just came in here. Oh, I love you. Thank you so much for being here and for your kind words. And let's see here. I think that was all that came in here since then, right? Oh, no, Cat Mia, way up here. So, hey, Cat Mia. I thought of you picking out my shirt today. Meow, meow. So, we'll get you added on to the free list here. And Irene, you're still here. Good, good. Glad you are here. Free readings. It's gonna be a little bit while longer before I get to those here. I actually just have um, Nancy up next. And if there's no other donations, I'll start into the free readings and your fifth in the free reading list. Just FYI, if you're still here. And we got Lily Cherry Blossom. I see your question. I think I shouted out to you earlier, but hello, hello. Thanks for being here. But I got your question. I think that was it here. Yeah, I got you in there. All right. I think that is everyone. Let me just do one little quick scan here. Yeah, Nancy, you made the donation, right? So you're up next. And um and I'm just looking for let me just find your question again here. Oh, yeah, it's easy. I can just look for the ends on the left-hand side here. All right. All right. And so we can ask some more here. Did you still just not just, but you want to know what's ahead of you now that the court case has ended? Yeah, because I think I've got everyone else on the list here. So you'll be up right here next. So if I just confirm that's what you're wanting for your reading here, and we will jump in and get you your answers. All right. Hey, Olivier. All right. Yeah, we can ask both there. All right, Olivier, get you on the list here for the free readings too. All right. All right. So, Nancy, we are at 1:42:28 is your timestamp. And like I said, I'll find the other one here too after the session is ended, and I'll post it under your name here when I post the pinned comment for this one. All right. So, first, let's ask: Are any more court issues based on your current energies in your future? Here, we'll find out that, and then what is coming your way now? Now that the court issues have resolved, what's next? What's coming next? What does Spirit want you to know? All of the above. All right. And that into these. All right. Into that one. All right. Let's see what we got here. So, first of all, we'll look at here any other court issues coming up here for you. Six of Wands, positive, victory, flow, forward energy coming here. So, it doesn't appear to be. Let's see what these are below the surface here. Yeah, I feel like what's coming for you now, not coming for you, that sounds bad. Uh-oh. What's coming as a result of the ending of court cases and around court cases, you have the Moon card, which is a lot of hidden emotions that will be bubbling up from the surface for you for you to be able to let go of this 8 of cups, letting go of some old relationships, emotions that don't serve you anymore. So a lot of emotional kind of release that comes from all this. And with the Maiden of Wands, the Page of Wands, there is this energy of putting the energy and action into, I know I'm gonna say the F word, forgiveness. Sometimes that's worse than the normal referenced word, but there is this, um, I love the way that forgiveness is mentioned in one of my oracle decks because they talked about choosing to no longer be a vessel of pain because of someone else's actions or non-actions, their words or their silence, and as a chalice, we're pouring out that pain and that wrath and that anger, and we're releasing it, not forgetting about it, but we're releasing all that emotional energy so that we can be a vessel of love, and we can then be empty, and there's room for love to fill us up and overflow instead of the pain and the suffering and the, you know, all that bitterness and resentment that can build up when we feel we've been wronged, and even if we get justice, there's still emotion there. It's like, how come I don't feel any better? Because we're still holding on to all those emotions in that chalice, sipping from it, going, why? Why is that? Why am I still having this bad aftertaste? Because we're still sipping from the emotional energy, right? Interesting. So I feel like that. I don't feel like there's any more court cases based on right now, but I feel like they're telling you all this for a reason because with the release for a moment, if we don't then pour out that, it'll fester and bubble back up. And it's like scooping off. If you ever have like, you leave out like, they're showing me Kool-Aid. Like if you ever leave out a cup of Kool-Aid over time, like mold grows on the top. If you scrape off the mold, all right, the mold is gone. If you don't clean out the cup, mold will grow back. So I feel like this is for you, not as a threat, but as a help that, you know, releasing those emotions and filling up with love will bring you in more love here rather than, more lower vibrational experiences that match that. So hopefully that makes sense. For what else is headed your way here, you do have the Temperance card, which is a great balance and alchemy, slow movement, but it's a wonderful flowing forward movement in things. And there's like this trust that things are unfolding, the magic is happening. Eventually it will turn to gold, but it's a slower process in the beginning. So trust this energy. In fact, it reminds me here because this is Sagittarius Jupiter energy, and I just was talking about Jupiter in Wednesday, beginning of Wednesday session, and briefly in today's, that it was in retrograde in Cancer and now it's gone direct on Tuesday. So there is the slow forward movement of Jupiter energy, of expansion, of growth, of wonderful, abundant kind of energy. And that's what I feel is kind of landing with you here too. Let's see what else they have here for you. Yeah, 8 of Pentacles. It's the blood, the sweat, the tears. You will see the result of your blood, sweat, and tears in the outside world. Sometimes it takes time for things to get from here to out here, but I do feel you'll start to see the fruits of your labor coming in the outside world in a positive way. Just it's kind of continue to do the daily, put in the blood, the sweat, the tears, and towards the things that are important to you, you'll see the results of them that come forward here. The Four of Swords is put your mind at rest, and you do that by, embracing the Ace of Swords that the Four of Swords gives you, because it's usually the three swords on the wall and someone sleeping on the Ace of Swords, which is seeing things from a higher perspective, from a spiritual perspective, one rooted in unconditional love and gratitude and joy and laughter and play, rather than being so serious, right? We can get so serious with our expectations and trying to be in control, and that everything is supposed to be and should be and need to be and have to be and must be. all this stuff has to be a certain way instead of embracing the moment, letting all of the need tos and supposed tos fall away and see things as I have everything I need right here, right now, and here, and kind of going with the flow of things. There's this rest of mind that comes in here for you. You have the Two of Swords. Talked about this a little earlier in Debs, which is the power of the choice of story. And we can change the story. The Two of Swords is every moment, life just happens. It has no meaning to it till it gets in here, till we assign a story of, oh, that means this about me, or this means that about them or the world. We have the power to choose the story of what things mean, because life is meaningless until it gets into the mean place, the meaning. Sometimes it's mean because it has all these stories that's been told all its life around what things are supposed to mean, like going back to those expectations, right? Well, if someone says this about me, then that means the story I have is that they're a bad person and I'm supposed to be hurt by that and I'm supposed to take action against them and say bad stuff back. And, we get into that story. Or that's a lower vibrational story rooted in fear of not being good enough, not being enough, fear of rejection. Or I can look at it from that Ace of Swords, right? A place of joy and laughter going, they're so silly. When they said that, well, they're going through some stuff. That's about them, not about me. That's the change of the story. And we get to change the story, realizing I'm the one that gets to choose for me. If someone goes, no, you should believe that, go, that's a good story. You can believe that for you, but I get to believe what I want to believe. And so questioning a lot of the stories that we've put on other people and ourselves from the past helps us change the story we will tell about ourselves and others in the future and in the moment. The 10 of Pentacles. So there is this abundance, this fullness of life energy coming to here when you do that, because your life changes from expectations that are feeling like life is lacking to no expectations or very little expectations that says everything is abundance and for me. So we can have this change of story and you can feel this abundance fill your life instead of lack filling this life, right? So I really love this. Beneath the 10 of Pentacles, let's see what brings you this abundance. Yeah, justice. Got justice coming in here. So I like this. So I do feel like there's this wonderful balance, seeing things from a different perspective coming in. Yeah, and the Ace of Swords. So all this Ace of Swords I've been talking about, the Justice card walks on the Ace of Swords, and you're gifted the Ace of Swords. So all of this again comes from a change of perspective and seeing things from a different place on there. So I feel like that is. We'll see some more here. Hey, Spaghetti, you are on the list, and yes, you are allowed to change your question. Just you can put your new question, and I'll just replace it on there. So feel free to do that. All right, let me take a quick sip here. But I'm really thirsty today. Probably because I worked out hard. No, just kidding. Not that hard. All right, what else? You got the Seven of Cups. And here is this part of this is peeling away some emotions. We were talking about this a little earlier with the snake. It's peeling away you're outgrowing some emotions and some thoughts that we had in the past, we had to protect us, but you don't need that protection anymore. You're like, I don't need to hold on to these old emotions. I don't need to hold on to these old beliefs. It's like when we're babies, we need baby gates so that we don't like fall down the stairs and break our neck. But as we become adults and we don't need the baby gates anymore, those baby gates become obstacles where we can trip over them and almost break our necks as adults. So it's like, let's get rid of this baby gate because I keep tripping it going through it. I don't need that anymore. There's this beautiful realization of what emotions no longer serve me and which ones I can let go, with that. Below the surface of that, let's see what they're telling you here. Yeah, you have the Ace of Wands. You have the power now, and you also have the power of emotional choice with the Two of Cups. And so below the surface is realizing, oh, I get to choose what emotions I feel in each moment, and that I felt this way. Someone didn't make me feel this way. It's because I had this story that I was told I was supposed to put to that, which comes with this emotional soundtrack, that when that person did that and I thought, "Oh, that's what that means," then this emotion came with it, but this is my emotional and mental choice now, and I can change the story, which changes the emotion that comes around it. So big transformational energy coming in here. I feel like you're entering here this place of empowerment, this place of not feeling like you're at the whim of the outside world, that whatever happens out there defines how I'm supposed to think and how I'm supposed to feel, how I'm supposed to act, and the energy I'm supposed to put forward. And when you realize I'm the one that gets to choose all that, yeah, in the beginning, it kind of sucks because we look back and go, "You mean I was responsible for all of my thoughts and emotions and actions?" Yeah. And it's like, yeah, that's the tough part to chew off, right? But quickly after that, you realize, but I'm the one that gets to choose everything going forward, which means where I've been feeling like a puppet, where whenever anyone does anything in the outside world, I got to think like this and feel like this and do this and da 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 da. Fearing the future, fearing what's comes next because we don't know what way it's gonna jerk us to act, we start cutting all the strings going, "I'm the one in control. I'm the one that gets to choose." There's this big empowerment. We no longer fear the future because we know regardless of what happens, I'm the one that gets to choose what it means, how I feel, how I act, and energy I invest in it. Power, right? So I love all that. Let's see these last few cards here. What's coming your way? Yeah. I had a feeling here. Yeah. So you've got the King of Wands, which is like an emperor energy. King of Wands, you can picture like sitting in a throne room with a bunch of people around from the kingdom, all blabbing about how your life is supposed to be and should be and needs to be and has to be and must be and what the kingdom should be and blah blah blah. And everyone has a different opinion. And as a king, if you're trying to please everyone else, you're never going to please everyone else because everyone has a different idea of what should be and supposed to be and even contradictory. And so you get to this point, you're tired of the arguments and the loudness of it all. And you just, have your trumpeter blow the horn and say, "Thank you, everyone, for your opinions, for your ideas and information. Now, I need time alone. Please leave the throne room and leave all of that opinions and information and blah, blah, blah in that box on your way out." And then you're in silence. Feel how that feels, silence. You breathe. And then you go into your heart. You get out of your head from all the supposed to be's, and you get into your heart and go, "What do I want?" And then you make a plan, and then you put action behind that plan. The cards that came along with that, 10 of Swords. Sick and tired of trying to please everyone else and trying to live up to everyone else and trying to make everyone else live up to me and my expectations. The 10 of Swords is, I'm done with that. Expectations out the window. I'm gonna free myself, and I'm freeing everyone else along with it too. Another 10 energy, 10 of Wands. This is, I am deciding where I'm investing my energy. It's like taking an energetic inventory, is how I like to call it, or spirit likes to call it, because it's realizing that one, I have a choice of looking at life as a burden or as a blessing. And it's realizing, am I investing my energy in what's going wrong in my life, not meeting up to expectations, which is sucking the life out of me, or am I focusing on what do I love? One of the greatest examples that spirit gave me that I feel, because I love donuts, was if you go into a donut shop, when they have the little glass counter and all the donuts are there, and you're like, if you point out all the donuts you hate, guess what you're gonna get a box of? Donuts we hate. But if I point out all of my favorite donuts, I get a box of the delicious donuts that I want. And so when we point out at the things that we love in life, we get more of that. If I focus on what's wrong, what I hate, and what blah blah blah, thank you. It's like, ew, I get more of these. um, so I like that. The other thing with the 10 of Wands is, and I feel like this is like culmination of everything, is you get to decide what is important and urgent to you, not what you're supposed to be urgent about, not what, supposed to be important, but what's truly important and urgent to you is bucket one. Bucket two is what's truly important to you, but not urgent. You put that in that bucket. That's something you can put on your calendar for the future whenever you feel you want to get it done before it becomes urgent. And then there's the things that are urgent, that are yelling that they're urgent, but they're not important to you. So you chunk that in bucket three, which you don't have to do anything with those, because if it's not important to you, but somehow it's screaming that it's urgent, it'll either take care of itself or it'll fall away and it's resolves in one way or another, but you don't have to invest energy in it until you finish everything that's truly urgent and important to you in bucket one, work on bucket two. And if you're bored and you got all that done, yeah, you can delve into bucket three if you want. You don't have to, but you can. And you can look at it and go, I'll do this one, not the rest, just this one, but you get to choose. And it's about kind of like stepping into your power. So I love that. Let's see here what your fortune cookie brings in here too. This one here. So this is from the Queen of the Moon Oracle. Yeah, you got power number or master number 22, wisdom. And this is this energy of like being true to your authentic self, remembering that with these double twos, that you're more than this human character. You are this powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit being who's made of unconditional love. You're not this character that you're playing in this life. You are so much more than that. So let's see what this tells us here. That's my understanding of 22, the number 22. So wisdom is more than mere knowledge. There may be something you aren't seeing and need to research more thoroughly. Wisdom is gathered, but it takes time. Learn from your experience. You might wish to ask the opinion of a wise mentor if you are uncertain. Your affirmation is, I use my knowledge and experience to make wise decisions. So that is kind of like you're deciding what is truly urgent and important to me, and you get to step out of your head and into your heart to decide that. Says it is often said that the body has its own innate wisdom. If healthy, it just knows what to do and does what it needs to keep us alive and moving without thinking too much about it. Most of the time, we aren't aware of trying to keep our heart beating or of breathing when asleep. Similarly, we have this innate reasoning system, intuition, that allows us to get answers or receive information without conscious thinking. It's that feeling or hunch of information or insight that is just there, which comes through our heart, by the way. Some people believe this is the wisdom we receive from the gods, the very spark of the divine voice that is left within us. This is a very old kind of wisdom that sits in a very old part of the brain. Then there is the gathering of knowledge and experience and what we discern and learn from this. If the result has acuity, if it is successful in the real world and good in sense and perception, it's most probably wise. The getting of wisdom takes time usually, and we can be impatient for it. We might cut corners and not see the role we take in our own poor decision making. To me, though, as modern people, we have millennia of wisdom to assist us. Human history has some very wise people starring in it, and some not so wise. So we have plenty of examples from which to learn. Gathering wiser people around us is, in fact, one of the wisest things anyone can do. We cannot always know it all, and a wise mentor or friend can only save us from a poor decision, but also demonstrate how to be wise if we're not quite there yet. So I love that. Companion stone for this is fluorite. So beautiful. So that is what they have for you, my dear Nancy. I think I told you that's my mom's name. And her birthday was yesterday. So happy birthday, whenever your birthday is. And thank you for your donation once again. I appreciate that. And hopefully that helps. Like I said, I'll circle back around and try to find your other free reading from the other night. I think it was a free reading from the other night. And I will post it on the pinned comment as well. So thank you again. 100% correct. All this resonates with you. Oh, I'm so glad that the Spirit is speaking clearly for you, with you. So there you go. Cheers, cheers, everybody. I think that's it for the donations. We'll start free readings here in a sec. Oh, it's nice and hot. Let me turn that down a little bit. Don't want to burn my esophagus. All right. So where we are at for free readings, we've got Aditi up first, and then Touch O Love, Minahil, Plate of Spaghetti, and then Irene, and then Lily, Kat Mia, and Olivier. I think that's all I have right now. So we will dive in. Of course, free readings are just 1 to 2 card readings. We don't go dive as deep as we do with donations, so they'll go a little faster. So don't worry, we'll get to everyone. All right, Aditi, you are up 20553. Whoops, hitting the wrong button there. There we are. So here, boom, boom, boom. It's your timestamp. And he said, Anmol moved on so fast with his ex when you rejected his proposal. You're still in shock. Why and how did he do so? Get some clarity. You know, when I saw your question earlier, there was actually this Instagram posting that Spirit brought back to me. And the individual, see, I did put it on here. And I'll include it. And if you happen to be on Instagram, he is an amazing individual that talks about relationships, and his name is it's it's Eli Vasquez. I think is how that is. Did I spell that right? Oh, I don't think I spelled it right. VAZQ. It's supposed to be a U, I think. UEZ. So sorry. Let me get rid of that. Good thing Spirit had me double check that. I was like, wait a minute, that doesn't look right. Here it is. It's Eli Vasquez, on Instagram. And in this video, he was talking about that when someone moves on quickly from a relationship, that it's not because they've fallen in love with this other person and they're madly suddenly falling in love with them. He's saying that they're an escape. They're a crutch. That every human needs time to reflect on their emotions and process their emotions. But when they're afraid to do so, then they'll find someone to validate or distract themselves. And that's what they do. And so because in that space of rejection, rejecting their proposal, they needed to validate their worth somehow, and they weren't going inward, so they went outward, and they were like, "Ooh, X, they want to be back together with me. I can have my immediate validation and distract myself from looking at the emotions that I was feeling because of the rejection." And that's what was going on with him there. So I'll leave that name by your timestamp and down in the description here. So if you see that and you're wondering what that was, that's what that was. But let's pull here some validation from the tarot for you here too. So why and how did he do this, right? So why did he move on so fast? Yeah, we have the star card, right? Trying to find this dream come true from the mind. And it's funny, this is Aquarius energy, and Aquarius can compartmentalize emotion because of the water bears, right? Something that we're known for, me being an Aquarius sun, is that um, we can take this emotion, that whatever's going on, and just go, okay, put it in this Tupperware, burp it, and put it in the refrigerator and go, I'll come back to you later. That's why a lot of times uh, we're very good in harsh situations. We can not respond emotionally and go into our brain and solve things and then freak out later. So, I feel like that's this energy is why did they do it? They needed to compartmentalize their emotions because they couldn't deal with it, and they felt like, "I need to do something else." So, that's kinda how they did it and why they did it. We kinda talked about why they did it already. Yeah, and we got the Leo energy that's coming in here, but this is the lower expression of Leo energy, which is also this need to be seen, this need to be wanted, to be the center of attention. Me energy in a way, and that's lower expression. Leos, don't get mad. You have a high expression of leading the world through love and follow me. I'll show you guys the strength and the courage to move forward. But we all have low expression, like I was just talking about the Aquarius low expression. And that's what was going on with them there. So they needed that validation. They needed that. So hopefully that helps a little bit there, DT. So hang in there. Make sure I don't delete this thing I said I was going to include here. Let me go back here and I'll put it there. There we go. All right. So hang in there. You're very welcome, Nancy. Nancy. All right. Touch O Love. You are up to 11:24. Here's your timestamp. And what do you need to know about what's coming in for you? All right, let's take a look here. What does Spirit want you to know right now? Got this. These two. All right. We got the Hermit. You're like, no shit, right? That's what's been going on. This is a portion of your time now. It's a time out from really having a lot of external. It's pointing you internal with this energy here. Of course, it's Virgo. It's taking care of body. It's nurturing yourself, but it's going inward and spending time with spirit, really learning a lot about yourself. Let's see what these other two cards are together here. Yeah, the Three of Swords. Oh, we got the Aquarius energy again coming in. But this is clarity around your mental dream come true and looking at the disappointments. This inner reflection period is to understand what is it that this idea, these expectations, this list of things that I think are supposed to happen in order for me to feel like my life is full, like my life's dream is coming true. Because there's a lot of opinion that's been given to you all your life that you, like all of us, we just kind of gather it all together and go, okay, here's my dream, but that's not our dream. That's the dream that was given to us. And there might still be some of that that's truly what our heart desires and what our higher self desires. But a lot of it is extra. A lot of it is opinion. A lot of it is filler that doesn't need to be a part of that. And this energy that you have going on right now is clearing away the clutter, the mental clutter of what is my story? What is it that I truly want? Not what I think I'm supposed to want, but what is it that I truly want? And it takes time for that because some things have been so inundated into our life, all our life, that we think this is just a part of who we are. Doesn't everybody want this? And we can't separate that from our heart because it's kind of glued to us and we just need to peel it off, or we need to spray it to where the glue becomes not as adhesive and we can just peel it off. But it takes time sometimes for that water to seep in and get it where it's ready to be pulled off. But it's a lot of questioning of some long held thoughts and beliefs about what is it that I'm supposed to want in life. And this is what's coming in. So there is some disappointments. That's what generally shows us where our expectations reside, because expectations equal disappointment. And if we don't get something we're expecting, we will feel that lack energy. And where we feel lack energy, it's pointing us to something we can look at. And and then we can transform it by questioning and going, why is it that I need that? Because when we're living from our heart, we're not we don't experience disappointment because our heart doesn't have expectations. It's looking at everything that comes in as, "For me, this is wonderful. Look at this wonderful thing. Look at this wonderful thing." When we're living from the mind, that's when we're looking at, "Look what's not happening. Look what's not happening. Look what's not happening fast enough," kind of stuff. So, hopefully that helps. Touch of love, that's what they have for you. So many blessings. Enjoy that time. I'm a Capricorn rising. I love getting into the my shadow. It's a great time. But his Zen has lost it. I know. All right. So many blessings, my dear. All right. Mini Heal, you are up 215 and 19 for you. So Mini Heal, there's your timestamp. Advice from your higher self. What should you work on to have a more peaceful life and mind? All right. Peaceful life, peaceful mind. So there are no shoulds from Spirit's perspective. There is just different choices with different outcomes, different experiences. So maybe that's the first thing, is to realize that there's no have tos or shoulds from Spirit's perspective. That's a human construct. That's a human pressure and fear of being rejected, fear of not being enough. It's like, no, what could I? We can replace our shoulds with coulds. What could I do for to have a more peaceful life and peaceful mind? So you could, for a peaceful life, focus on joy, 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 joy. 10 of Cups, fullness of emotion, fullness, like gratitude, right? Um, and we talk about that a lot on this channel because we don't have peace when we're focusing on what's not happening in life. And we feel that lack. We feel life is empty. When we're start doing gratitude journals or alarms on our phone every waking hour saying, remember gratitude. And because life will suck us into lack, because we're taught growing up, focus on what you know, all this stuff that you need to happen in order to be loved. And it's way up here. And you start off here, you live in lack all your life, trying to get up to zero. Then you have abundance above that. When you live from the heart, like I said, with no expectations at all, then or very little, the less expectations we have, the faster we get up to abundance and fullness of life, the more peace we have. So the more we can let go of attachment to things that define who I am and my happiness and my joy, and realize I am made of joy. I can be happy so easily if I let go of all these rules and supposed tos and shoulds and enjoy what is, instead of focusing on what was that didn't turn out well and fearing the future of won't happen. We just focus on what is happening or has happened that we love and are grateful for, and our life becomes this beautiful blossom. What about peace of mind? Four of Pentacles. This is a great energy. The Four of Pentacles, what it teaches us here is that, we are taught growing up that define your worth by these three buckets of the outside world, right? Which is, relationships with people define who you are, is what we're taught. With friends, family, lovers, coworkers, whoever, they define if we're worthy or not and what our worth is. That's what we're taught. But humans are unstable. Have you noticed? Because uh, they change, they walk away, they pass away. So a relationship with a human is unstable, and if we define ourselves by that, we feel unstable, right? We have unpeace of mind. If we define ourselves by the second bucket of situations like jobs, education, social status, situations we can get into, Well, we know situations never stay the same, unstable. So we define ourselves by that in unstable, unstable, unpeace. And then the third bucket of things, our bodies, our bank accounts, money, right? Um, our possessions. If we define ourselves by all those things don't last either. They deteriorate, they blow up or burn down, or they're stolen, but they are unstable. So all that instability points us here, inward and upward. And how we can have peace of mind outside of releasing all these expectations that, you know, keep our mind trying to control things outside of our control. When we come back to realizing all those things of the outside world are unstable, and they're pointing me inward and upward to my higher self, to the only stable thing in this world, in this realm, which is eternal, unconditional love of the higher realms. When you define yourself by that, you feel solid. You have peace of mind. You don't worry about the outside world because it just is. When we're using it to define us, when we attach the things of the outside world that they mean something about us and our worth, we freak out all the time and we're trying to control all that out there, which is outside of our control. But when you go inward and upward and you think eternal love, a love that never ends, that's pretty solid. Think of unconditional love, not one condition, because that's all it takes to make something conditional is one condition. No conditions, nothing you have to do to earn it, nothing you can do to lose it. Pretty stable, right? So those two, eternal, unconditional love, stable, stable, stable. You define your worth attached to that, peace of mind, right? So some things to ponder and think about. That's what they have for you, Mini Heal. So hopefully that helps. Many blessings to you. All righty. Let me take another sip here. We'll continue on. Hey, Jazz, good to see you. Cheers, cheers. I'll get you added on to the free list here. So next up, we have plate of spaghetti. Ooh, 221.21. Look at that. All right. There's yours. Oops, let me grab Jazz's real quick here. And I do have your updated question, plate of spaghetti, just to make sure, which is the current energy between you and William. And you're starting to think it's just not going to work out, friendship or relationship. Okay, we got it there. Nancy. Oh, very good. Thank you. Kudos to you. Cheers, cheers. I will delete that off my could-do list. That was going to be my to-do list. So I will not follow up on that. Thank you for letting me know. I appreciate that. All right. So let's take a look here, plate of spaghetti. Hey, Jojo. Thank you for your additional donation. We'll jump to you next if you have your question out there. So, your current energy between you and William. What does Spirit want you to know? Right. Boom, boom. All right. So you do have the Four of Cups. Now, the Four of Cups energy, if you see the original Four of Cups in tarot, the original Rider's Waite deck, someone leaning up against a tree looking at the three cups in front of them. They're kind of bored with that. They're kind of, I don't know. It's just like there's this stagnancy, this boredom. And the Ace of Cups is up above, being offered to them from the heavens out of the clouds, which tells the energy is that there is this stagnancy. There is this, we keep going back to the same cycles. We keep going back to and having the same experience because we're not doing anything different. If I continue to do what I've always done, I'm going to get what I've always gotten. Doing the same thing, expecting a different result is the definition of insanity, that's why I always say, I was talking with someone earlier today. I go, I'm not a licensed counselor, but I do believe that all humans are insane because we all believe that at some point. Oh, if I just keep doing it, eventually it'll just work. No. And I feel like you're right. Like you're starting to think that this just isn't going to work out if you keep doing things the same way that you've always done it. then yeah, you will. And if you're the only one that changes and they don't, still ain't gonna work because it takes 2, right? Usually, very rarely, if we change, we can work it with anyone in some capacity sometimes. But after a while, you're like, cost benefit analysis, I'm doing all this change and they're not. I deserve better. Eventually, we'll leave them anyway. But I do feel here you do have with the Queen of Swords, this represents a perfect compatible person, which I do feel when I was talking about that Ace of Cups, I do feel, you know, there's a 2 parts to that. One is that, you know, there is someone out there that matches our higher vibrational energy, the person that we if we focus on our own self-love and we raise our vibration, there is someone that fits that energy, that someone that is more of an energetic match for us. But it also tells us that every relationship in the outside world is a reflection of our own self-love. And so the greatest thing that we can do for our our love life is inward and upward and raise our self-love, raise our self-worth, let go of thoughts and beliefs that don't serve us anymore, emotions that don't serve us anymore, energy that doesn't serve us anymore, even things in our physical world that don't serve us anymore. And that raises our vibration. And the more we open up to this beautiful relationship with our higher self and who we really are, the more we expand our relationships to the outside world. So I love myself this much, no matter how much love I want to pour out, what's going to get out? Drip, drip, drip. And no matter how much love someone wants to give me, drip, drip, drip. And if they have low self love, there's not going to be a whole lot of true love. Be careful what I'm doing with my hands. That almost looked inappropriate, but there's a low flow of love that happens until we expand our self love. And in this case, like if their self love is small and you grow your self love, no matter how much love you're flooding out, drip, 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 no matter how much love they're wanting to give, they get this little bit. When you're, able to receive a lot of love and they're like, here, this is what I got you. You're like, oh, gee, you shouldn't have. Maybe you should keep that. I think you need that more than I do. So I feel like you're in an interesting place. I do feel like you can take the time when we're with someone to reflect on it's difficult. It's like studying with loud music or a loud party going on around you versus when you're off by yourself and you're, having this, clarity that it allows you, more reflection, more movement, more production of your energy than it is trying to hold off stuff while you're trying to learn at the same time. Hopefully that makes sense. But in fact, that's what they have for you right now on Plate of Spaghetti. So hopefully that helps, my dear. Hang in there. Many blessings to you. All right. And then we have Irene up. Irene Evers. Thank you so much. Here is your timestamp. Thank you guys so much for your patience in getting to all of your readings. I know sometimes it takes a while, so thank you. So you want to start your own channel, but you're not sure which way to go. Slot or spiritual? All right, let's take a hey, yay, hello. We'll take a look here. So when we're asking kind of spirit, we can ask them what energy surrounds it so you can make the best decision for what matches to the energy that you're wanting. So we'll take a look here at the energy of the first, if that's slot or whatever you meant by that, if that's not the correct word. And then, or spiritual, which energy comes around. So for your first option, you have the Seven of Cups. There's a lot of mixed emotion around that with the Seven of Cups. Feel like there's a bit of conflict that comes in a little bit with that um, type of channel. And I just feel like there would be a lot of growth that would happen with that, with the shedding of the snake skin, and there would be have to work through a lot of different, um, things that come in with that. And if it truly is like slot or gambling or something like that, I can understand that. I just feel like it rubs some people the wrong way, um, and but it also pleases some other people. So it's a mixed bag of emotional responses when it comes to the first one there. For spiritual, you do have the 3 of Pentacles. 3 of Pentacles is like this is being more true to your authentic self, and that you can be true to you and present it, in a perspective as you, coming from you. And it also has to do with, like, you end up really collaborating with individuals here, and I feel like it becomes more of a community. Feels like friends and community, finding your tribe kind of energy that comes in here, um, in a physical, even though it can be virtual, but it's a physical kind of energy that comes in with that. So really out of the 2, it feels like, you know, I mean, one is more brighter than the other, and one's more seems to be more pleasing than the other, right? You got the snake, and then you got the beautiful flower and brightness on the other side here too. So it feels like, you know, more spiritual, um, is encouraged or has a brighter energy for you. I feel like it brings more energy for you, on there as well, which, this day and age, the world needs all the connection with spirit that it can get. So I feel like that's what they have for you right now, Irene. Hopefully that helps a little bit. And many blessings to you. Thanks for being here. All right. And then we have Lily Cherry Blossom. Here is your timestamp. Oops. I'm so sorry. Lily Cherry Blossom, you'll be up next. I totally got into free reading mode, and JoJo's up next. I'm like, JoJo's like, hello. It is a wine night, but on your cat sitting, you're vibing. I love that. So thank you for your additional donation. Here is your additional timestamp here. I think, yes. I love it. I love it. I love it. There you are. So a little aura read. Any interesting colors a poppin'? I had a color deck before. Ooh, I feel like we can use this one. Does this one have colors? Yeah. I feel like I'm going to pull from this Oracle deck for you. The Creatrix Awakened here. We'll pull I'll give you one of these here. All right, so let's take a look here. What's going on with your aura? Let's put those back over here. And you got all your red, orange, and yellow, all the bottom, all the, lower chakras. Fire, and it is feminine fire. Card number 1, desire, liberation, authenticity. Oh, Lord. I know, right? So, yeah, I mean, very vibrant, very, on fire, this fire energy, right? Explains your dancing tonight, right? You're like, I'm on fire. Let's see here. Well, these don't have numbers on them. It's going to be should be the first one. Yeah, here we are. So let's see what energy this comes in here for you. But I love this. It's time to embrace your feminine fire, a powerful force that embodies release, passion, and intensity. This elemental energy burns within you. I mean, you are fire, unburdened by constraints, asking where you need to burn up, burn into, or simply burn more brightly. It's the essence of transformation, capable of eradicating outdated aspects of yourself and ushering in the new. Feminine fire is often misunderstood, different from its masculine counterpart. It dances between the realms, or in real life, magnetizing the heat of desire. This primal power resides within you, waiting to be harnessed and unleashed. It's your inner flame, your heart, your soul, your mission. Ignite it to bring more of your quantum beingness into your body, fostering a deeper connection with your multi-dimensional self. In a world that has often cautioned against the intensity of feminine fire, don't shy away from it. Your inner flame is not to be feared, it's the suppression of it that's damaging. Embrace this transformative energy that harmonizes with the elements, grounding you in the earth's stability, purifying you like water, and allowing your thoughts and actions to flow like air. Your feminine fire is both wild and intense, burning bright and exacting who you are. It's your path to authenticity and strength. As you unleash your expansive, expressive limitlessness, you become a beacon of change, a leader unburdened by societal conditioning and expectations. This oracle card calls you to embrace your inner flame and set your world ablaze with passion and authenticity. Cheers. Journal questions. I think there's 3. Where do you need to burn up, burn into, or burn more brightly? What does this look like? What areas of your life are in need of the transformative power of your feminine fire? They have a little practice that says, go outside and stand in the sun, close your eyes and visualize the warm orange glow you see behind your closed eyelids, melting down through your body, slowly clearing and invigorating every cell, tissue, and energy meridian as it goes. Take a deep breath. Emanate this warm, fiery glow into your energy field, extending out 6 feet from you in every direction, your aura. Open your eyes, infused with the power of fire. Wow. So, there you go. That is your color there. Orange, yellow, and red. All of the earthly chakras. So I love that. And then that was your reading. For your additional one, you also get a Dreamer's deck oracle for your fortune cookie. Let's see what else they have here. I like it. I know that each breath confirms that I am alive and far from finished. I'm just getting started. I love that. So, boom, boom, boom. I can't say I don't love it. I know I love it too. So, perfect, perfect, perfect for where you're at and what's going on with you. So, cheers to you. I know you're drinking wine. Chink, clink, clink, clink. All right. Oops. Turn that off since I drink all that. Get my water out here. So thank you again for your donation, Shuns. I appreciate that. Cheers to you. Let's see here. I think we got Velvet Flare Witch. Hello, hello. Good to see you. We will get your onto the free list here. And we got Maria P in the house. Hey, Maria. Good to see you. We'll get you on the free list here as well. All right. And I think we are good to go. So, we'll go back to free readings here. So Lily Cherry Blossom, we are back to you. Sorry. And I was like, here, this one's free. Oh, nope, not yet. So now we are to you. Thank you so much for your patience. Anyone to know, ask, what does your forever person go through in his current phase of life? So what is your Forever person, what are they going through here? Yeah, they definitely are in a big change here. We got Pluto energy, I believe, of the Judgment card, which is being seeing things from a higher perspective, being drawn away from whatever they were headed toward and moving with this Eight of Wands. I just feel like they're being nudged and drawn into a different life. It could be like a different career. It feels like where it mainly is at. Something that aligns with more of who they wanna be instead of being like a, a tax lawyer. They wanna, move into serving the community through their with their law, or go leave law altogether and pursue something that they wanna do that helps people more. But I feel like there's this change of career, and they're in that process of, moving from where they thought they were supposed to go into something more in alignment with something that brings them joy and feels a more satisfaction in their life. So they're going through a big career transformation, as I feel, which impacts because I feel like what they were doing was making a ton of money, but they weren't happy. And so what they're wanting to do is not as much, but they're making some changes and downsizing some things because, like, I don't need all this stuff. I'd rather be happy than um, miserable, you know, energy. So I feel like that's where they're kind of at right now in this phase of their life, right in the middle of big change, in that, which is great. I know you're like, "No, not the money." But you would rather them be happy and around, because I also feel like they work so many hours that you would never see them, and you would much rather have them happy and see them and have enough and be comfortable. They're not, like, going into poverty or anything, but you wouldn't see them, and they'd be grumpy and overworked and tired and not happy with life. You don't want to be with someone like that anyway, right? Alright, so that's what they have for you, my dear. So many blessings to you. Alright, and then we have Cat Mia up. I think we already had Cat Mia earlier. Oh, you know what? I did here. I didn't. Oh, I must not have done Cat Mia. Who did I have? Oh, I know what I did. When I grabbed your reading information earlier, I said meow meow to you. I go, I thought I already said meow meow to you, and I did. And that's what it was. So I didn't do your reading yet. So, Cat Mia, here is your timestamp saying all that. I was confusing myself. Glad I talked it out. Glad we had that chat. So you want to know, is OJ going to do the whole hair skin supplements or skin care products or both? All right, let's take a look here. Hey, because I meow meowed. Hey, meow meow. They're like, I heard but a Z. Let's see what we got. That's too cute. All right, so let's see here. Are they going to do hair skin supplements? Oh, I think it looks like hair skin supplements is Seven of Pentacles, which is the last thing that grows on the fruit tree is the fruit. Don't feel like they're going to do that. Skincare products. Yeah, that feels like their joy here. So I feel like they're going to start off with skincare products. Will they eventually do both? Yeah, eventually they will do both with the Two of Wands because they're going to have two things that they do. But it feels like the hair's skin supplements will be later because that Seven of Pentacles was the last thing that grows on the fruit tree is the fruit. So it takes a longer for them to get into that. I feel like it's more involved. Maybe with supplements, you have to do more through because it's consumed, that there's more hoops you have to jump through or something like that, it feels. But skincare products, I feel like they can get into first and then introduce the other one after that. So that is where they are in their energy right now. So hopefully that helps. Cat me up. All All right. Olivier Vagara, you are up to 4402. Here is your timestamps here. And you want to ask for an oracle reading of the lucky choice. Yeah. What we can do here. Don't feel like we want to do these moon ones here. I feel like animals. Animals seems to be in here. So we'll give you an animal apothecary one here. See what spirit animal wants to speak to you. And you have the turtle. I like it. Small steps, big accomplishments. And I love this about the world, right? Because you get this energy of, you know, going somewhere. Oh, yeah, right. Wasn't one of your readings about global, not local? And then you have the number 8 here, which is about flow and movement. This is the turtle. So sea turtles migrate, right? Travel thousands of miles each year while swimming at a slow, methodical pace. The key medicine is that what you wish to manifest will take dedicated, consistent, and patient effort. Land turtle reinforces this message about the slow process towards your desire, further speaking to us about how grounded this point of view is. Nothing represents being grounded quite like the land turtle, built sturdy and close to Mother Earth. Small, consistent efforts will lead to long lasting success. Be patient. Do not rush for immediate rewards. Understand that immediate gratification cannot sustain what is needed for long term success. Shortcuts yield short term success, and instant gratification is for the weak mind. Sea turtle is not instantly born in the sea, swimming toward his goal. He first must build his muscles by slowly breaking out of the shell and journeying toward his desire to be in the great sea. Allow things to develop at their own pace and plan for a lengthy dedication toward your goal. This is a very promising card, and it speaks to happy results. You are building something great, and its full fruition needs time. Turtle's Medicine shares that slow and steady efforts are of the most importance to you. Something powerful is in development. What is built slowly stands longer. Wow. I love that for you. So that is what they have for you, Olivier. How perfect for your life, where it's at. All right. And up next, we have Jazz. You got 24707. So, Jazz, here's your timestamp. And should you be trying for a new teaching job at a better institution next month? Guidance. All right, let's take a look here. So, of course, with Spirit, there is no shoulds. There's just different choices with different experiences, different outcomes. So what we'll do here is we'll pull a card here. If you choose to try for a new teaching job, what energy comes? If you stay where you're at, what energy comes? So if you go somewhere else, the 10 of Swords is about letting go of expectations and letting go of supposed to be's and should be's and need to be's. I'm feeling like here they're really talking about understand why you're wanting to go somewhere else, because if if um if I'm not changing, then the reflection of whatever school I go to is going to be reflecting me back to me. And so we can ask ourselves first, before you look at going somewhere else, realize what is the place you're at trying to teach you, because if you don't learn the lesson of the school that you're at, you'll just keep repeating it at another school. So it's like it's not so much about running away from somewhere, but about what is drawing you somewhere. So it's kind of saying that if something isn't drawing you somewhere, then stay where you're at. Because if you're not learning, like I said, just to repeat it again, if you're not seeing the lesson that you are to learn at being where you're at, you will follow you wherever you go, and the lesson will just reappear there. Kind of like, they're reminding me of a friend, or more than one friend, but a specific friend they're reminding me of was, like, going from job and, "Oh, they're miserable, they don't, recognize the work that I'm doing, they don't pay me what I'm worth. Oh, I found this other job." 3 months later, they're not appreciating me, they're not, paying me what I deserve, and da 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 da, they're not recognizing all the work that I do. I found another job over here. 3 months later, they're not, again, the same repeating thing, and I was like, "Have you ever thought that maybe you're not," this is what I was saying to them is, "Have you ever thought maybe that you're not honoring your true worth? And if you're not honoring your worth, then no one else can either." And they were like, "Whoa," because it was exactly what was going on. They didn't feel worthy on the inside. On the out, they were like, "I deserve da 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 da." I go, "But do you really believe that?" And they're like, "I don't." You know? So, something to consider there. If you stay where you're at, yeah, you do have the Knight of Cups. There is this movement of emotion, this quest of your heart. And I feel like, so they're saying here, stay where you're at, for now, but you also, in doing that, you realize what it is that you're learning there. And instead of you, and this is what they're basically saying, is instead of, running away from this, you'll eventually find something that's in alignment with your heart, and you'll be drawn somewhere else. And then that'll be a different experience because you're not, "Oh, I hate this. I need to find this." You're like, "Oh, what is that?" And you're drawn to go somewhere else. So I feel like that's what they have for you right now. All right. So that's what they got for you, Jazz. Many blessings to you. All right. And then we have the Velvet Flare Witch, 25114. So, Velvet Flare Witch, there is your timestamp. And hello. So, your friend Amir got all his business accounts panned and distracted. Will they open again and come back for him? Or is it banned? Banned and disconstructed. So, basically, his business all went away, it sounds like, and you're wondering, will they open up again and come back for you? Okay. So based on the current energies, let's take a look here, see what we have here. So, I feel here, the Five of Cups is about power of emotional choice and this conflicting emotional energy, which I feel here, because the Page of Cups is happy and upbeat energy. And I feel like this is saying the possibilities are that they can come over here. Um, you know, there is this, I can um have happiness, and there can be kind of a happy ending with all of this. But the Five of Cups, the conflict of it is coming up to, it has to do with where they're coming from, and that they need to um be able to look at what did I wanna learn about myself through this? Because the 5 energy is like growth energy, and it's like there is some sort of growth that is, at the root of this, and it's like, what gift is in this for me, for Amir? What is this showing me about my fears? What is this showing me about, you know, what do I want to see about myself through this? Because I feel like, again, this all this emotional energy, it's coming up to point them back to the inward for something to be transformed with this five energy, the growth. And once they release their attachment and the emotions to this, thing in the outside world, once the release happens, then that changes stuff. So I feel like that there is a possibility for it to turn out and for it to return. But the big growth opportunity in it has to be looked at first. So hopefully that helps. Velvet Flow Witch, that is up for you. Many blessings to you. All right. So I did have a couple come in here via the PayPal. So we've got Maria P. Thank you. Is this one also from you? Yes, we got 2 from Maria P. Thank you. Thank you. So they actually came in right before yours, Jojo. So we will have those in there. And then Jojo, you'll be up after that. And then Jessica, hey Jessica, hello, good to see you. And then you'll be up after that for donations. So let me get these all set up here. Get those, and then oh, it did not answer your questions at all. All right. Well, yeah, without a donation, we can try again tomorrow night, and I can ask the questions maybe more specifically if it didn't answer what it was giving you there. Or you might just listen to it again with a open mind, open heart, and see if there's anything that comes through from spirit there for you. But yeah. All right. So let us dive in here. And so we've got Maria P twice, and then Jojo, and then Jessica for donations. And then for free readings, all I've left is Maria P for yours as well. So we will circle back around. Oops, that's not what I want to go to this one first. All right. So let me take a quick sip here and we'll dive back into some donations. Thank you guys so much. All right. So let's get to timestamp. Maria, 25614 is for your first one here. And let's take a look here. So Wally's thoughts and feelings on you today. What's coming for you and Wally next week? What's coming for you for work next week? During your meeting today, what were Dr. Laura's thoughts on you? Why did Laura and Robin look at each other when you were speaking? Anything you need to know on work? Okay. All right, let's take a look here. So Wally's thoughts and feelings on you today. Yeah, you got the Maiden of Pentacles, which is the Page of Pentacles. This is an energy, thoughts and feelings of abundance, of fulfillment, fullness, of growth energy. It's very happy external energy. And there is also this kind of sensing of this energy below the surface of, of abundance, of looking forward to the next phase kind of energy in the physical world. So I like this. They're looking forward to some more things, and I feel like they're planning some, having ideas of what they would like to do in the future kind of coming into. So I like that kind of energy, a good relaxing Friday energy for them. What's coming for you and Wally next week? The magic. You got the magician. So there's some action, a lot of, it's a very manifesting kind of card, but it's them taking action and wanting to do things, implementing some things, starting some things, regarding with the both of you. So I feel like it's like a very active, fiery energy. A lot of passion below there, but it's also magicians ruled by Mercury. It's a lot of communication. So I like this. A lot of talking, a lot of movement on what we're talking about and doing things. So just feel like they feel like in a much better place based on current energies next week, where they feel like very flowing and really focused in on you next week. I feel like they've been distracted by a lot of stuff going on, but I feel like next week feels like a lot of stuff is cleared and they're really focused in on you. For you with work, you have the Two of Swords. Feels like there's a decision to make next week Two of Swords can be that, like, you're at a crossroads, and I do feel like they again, we've been talking about, like, you're coming up with these 2 choices, and I feel like next week, then the big things is that you have an important decision to make at work between 2 paths or 2 significant choices, next week. Maybe it's the jobs that we were talking about. During the meeting today, what were Dr. Zora's thoughts on you? You had the 7 of Cups, mixed emotions, which that's normally her anyway. You know, because she's a tough cookie, she's got high expectations on herself and thus the world. And so she appreciates things, and then I feel like it would be like conversations with her would kinda go along the lines of, I love that you do this, and I love that you do this, and I love that you do that." And you're like, "That's good, leave it at that," but they're like, "So that's good, let's celebrate that. Now, what I'd like you to do for your next goal is this and this and this." Like, there's always more that they're wanting, and that's just them, and it's not you, specifically, it's their life. And so just be aware of that, I feel like is an important thing. And then when you were speaking, why did Laura and Robin look at each other? The high priest look at there's two high priestesses, there's normally just one. I feel like I don't it's interesting. I feel like they both thought of something, and I feel like they kind of intuited something before. I feel like they were talking about something earlier, and then you started talking about it, and they looked at each other like, "Isn't that weird that she's talking about what we were talking about earlier?" I feel like that's what it is coming in here, because they were like, "This is what we were gonna mention," or, we're just talking about that," and I feel like that's why they looked at each other. That's funny. Anything you need to know about work? Yeah, 3 of Pentacles. Be true to your authentic self. There is this express yourself. And this is about friendship and collaborating. And they keep bringing this up, I mean, over and over and over again, right? About it's important to look at everyone as family and tribe, and that you're all in this together. And it's not me versus them, it's we're all in this together. And I feel like it's an important energy for you to really um, work out trying to work your best with everyone, trying to, you know, repair bridges between people and finding out ways to do that, work on your communication, how you're approaching with other people, and this how can you be the most, a strong chain in the link of everyone instead of, thinking, people have it out for you and, that they did this, they did that, and going, you know what? They didn't do that to me. They were these, supporters for me to help me grow because of what they did, I've grown, and I'm gonna look at it that way, and I'm gonna look at their my helpers, not people trying to destroy me, just like working on together that way. So, I feel like that's what they want you to know with that. Let's take a look here. Your fortune cookie is boundaries. Number 12, the bubble around you here. Let's see what this brings in for you. So, judging what you need and what you don't need allows you to place healthy boundaries. You teach people how to treat you. Judge what is healthy and right for you with clarity and care. Simplify. Your affirmation: I can say yes or no with authenticity and clarity. We don't have to say it like,
No, no, no. 1,000 times no.
we can say no nicely. In times of sickness or, say, the presence of very strong emotions, such as grief, we often naturally simplify. We cut out all the extras that are too hard or too complex at that time. We might not take up an invitation to an event we might have to work at attending. We might only watch a film we know uplifts us. We might only want to see or communicate with friends we know and trust to understand, love, and support us, warts and all. We might only choose to spend the depth of our heart and time with a few people rather than many, and we become vastly sensitive to those we now discover take their unfair share of our energy. We might also look to our body more compassionately and eat nourishing foods to heal it, do comforting things for it to recover more easily, or just decide to rest it completely. If we're healthy people, we naturally action a kind of simplicity and a set of boundaries to protect ourselves so we can give ourselves some space to heal. What if we did this all the time? What if we more consciously chose more simply and specifically for the benefit of our own mind, body, and spirit? Yes, life is complex, but it can be richer and more enjoyable if we pare back what is negatively extra and choose a more deliberate and authentic path. We don't need so much fluff and people pleasing and running about madly and fast food and fast fashion and gossip and hardcore Olympic level scheduling and stress. We just don't. Look at what you chose to do last time you were forced to simplify. If it was a positive choice, maybe that could be your starting point for something better today. This judgment you made was for you and it worked. Not all judgment is bad or to be avoided. Every single one of us judges every day. We judge what brand of washing powder to buy among many. We judge what TV show is good and what isn't. We vote, which is a judgment on trust. We have a legal system with a judge. We judge what we will accept and what we won't. If we don't, we do not have values, nor do we have boundaries. Huge issue for some. To simply focus on your own experiences and not look outside yourself for justice may all be very nice for gurus, but for those of us who want to be the change they wish to see, I judge, happily, that certain things are unacceptable. So I strive to change those things. People judged that slavery wasn't right and involved themselves in change, even to the extent of waging war. People judged that whaling wasn't right, so it's been banned in most countries. We judged that apartheid wasn't right, and people died to change it. One brave man, Nelson Mandela, was jailed for decades as a result. Boundaries teach people how to treat us, and this is a kind of positive judgment. And then your companion stone for that is obsidian if you're into stones or crystals. So I love that. So good energies there for you. So that is what they have for number 1. And then for number 2, we got 30717. Oops. Try that again. Okay, much better. So here is number 2 for you. Let me clear that off here. Oop. And let's get into that one here. All right. So what's coming for you at work this month and next month? This month and next month. Got 2 cards. Dr. Bob's thoughts on you today. Did Bob get your application? David's thoughts on you today. A message from, this is a message from Wally here. A message from Spirit. And from your grand aunt. All right. So coming for your work this month, yeah, you got the World card here. So this is a victory energy, and it is an ending of a cycle, the beginning of a new adventure. So it does feel like there's going to be a significant change with the major arcana there, that something's unfolding, something's changing. Maybe this is that job, right? Next month, you do have an ending and beginning energy there as well. So it feels here, you get a new job this month and you get fired next month. No, I'm just kidding. I just always need to shock you sometimes. You're like, what? Just jokes. But I feel like there's a big transformation for you at work this month. And, next month, it does feel like maybe that is when the position starts, because that's the ending, the official ending and the beginning, that comes in with it there. So, big significant changes happening at work. I feel like it's initiated this month, and it begins its actual, you know, birthing, next month. The rebirth happens, next month. Bob's thoughts on you today. Yeah, the moon. He's always, he's the emotional one, I swear, because I always get emotional cards with him. Um, this is like I'm getting a bit with this one, it's not so much the emotional energy as they're bringing in the cycles of the moon, and I just feel like they're I feel like their thoughts on you today was how you go from like this full moon and how you go to a new moon and shrink and then how you rise to a full moon. He was noticing a pattern of how you can be so full and then you can shrink, and then you can rise again. And so he knows the fullness that you're capable of, and he notices he was trying to figure out what is it that makes you shrink. 'Cause I feel like he experienced you from being so confident and big, and then a while later that you were kind of pulled back and timid and shy in a way, and he was wondering what caused that, you know? And he was just like, "Hmm." He was curious, but he definitely sees the fullness of what you can be with the full moon. Did he get your application? 2 of ones. I feel like that is, and I feel like this is the power of choice energy that's coming in. So I feel like they do have your application and they're working on figuring out, choices. David's thoughts on you today, Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, there's this, um what is this? Because it's the slowest moving knight, but I don't feel like that's the kind of energy that's coming in because because we had something else and someone else had this thing of that you're very methodical, and I feel like they were noticing that you like to really take your time on something to get it right, and then once you get it right, then you become faster at it, but you don't like just trying to do something and get it done that he noticed not that you're meticulous, because that almost sounds like a negative thing. It's not that, it's like, well, you like to build things slowly, and they just I feel like they were recognizing that's your learning style. A message from Wally, the High Priestess. Yeah, there's this energy here with the High Priestess, again, this moon energy, um, to well, and one that's like trust your intuition, but I feel like this isn't coming from Wally the human, this is calling from their higher self, that, the message from them is that you are very empathic, you're very connected to people's emotions, and that it's important to recognize what are your emotions, what are other people's emotions, and to learn to balance your emotions. And by doing that, it can be like building a bubble around you, um, understanding what emotions are bubbling below the surface, because and I think we've talked about it before with, you recognize what other people's emotions are. What are you feeling right now? What is your inner child feeling? What is past life emotions? What's the emotions from the, astrology and the planets and the space? What is yours? And understanding emotion is very important because when you are able to kind of understand the emotions, then you're able to respond to them and not react to them. Because I feel like you have a lot of emotion, um, and that's a big important piece for you to for your own peace of mind and peace in general to learn how to do that. I have a couple of videos. I probably shared them before, but just in case, let me just grab them here. I'll throw them out. This is the empathic bubble and the real gift of an empath. I'll put them out here in the chat. Also put them under your name in the um, pinned comment at the end if you ever need to come back to it. All right. And then message from Spirit. Yep, Six of Pentacles. There is this, it's kind of joining in with this High Priestess, because the High Priestess is about looking into your lower emotions of your inner child, and the Six of Pentacles is part of that little adventure that comes in here. Wow, I got all got all I think it'll fix itself here. Maybe if I do it slowly. Um it's about looking back at your there it goes, back into your focusing in back on your inner your childhood, really 7 years old and younger, when your emotional body was creating this. How much do I have to give in order to receive, both in love and abundance? Because there's something about an out of balance rate of exchange, feeling like you have to do so much to deserve so little, and questioning some of that. In fact, I think I have a video on that too. Um, yeah, the Six of Pentacles. So I'll throw that out here too. For reference, it goes in dives deeper into these, which you might have already seen this before because you've been with me for a while, hanging out, and I'm so grateful for that. But just in case, I'll also throw it in over there. So you can take a look at those. I feel like those are what they're bringing in. And then your aunt. Yeah. Your aunt is really wanting to, show you here. And I feel like she's coming into your dreams to help you through some fears that you have, because the Nine of Swords is nightmare and insomnia. It's like a lot of our fears being exposed and showing up, and the Tower card is the fear of something being suddenly removed out of life. And I do feel like she's visiting in your dreams to help transform those emotions and to help relieve some of those fears so that you can be at peace. But so if you've been having any nightmares or very vivid dreams, that is coming from her, and she's bringing those in, and she's bringing them in pretty intense so that you can remember them when you wake up and go, "What the hell was that?" But she's helping work on those um, for you, with you, and your higher self and your spiritual posse. So that's what she has for you. Your fortune cookie for this one is: I know that I must stay in the present moment to enjoy the journey. I am right here. Yeah. So staying out of the future, staying out of the past, enjoying the moment, right? And gratitude where we're at. So that is what they have for you, my dear. So many blessings to you. All right. So, and we'll circle back around for your free reading here in a moment after I finish the donations. You'll be up next after that. All right. So, circle back here for number 3 for JoJo. 31728 is for your third one. Thank you so much for your multiple donations. And we'll give this one a love and a like, since it lets me do that on those type of donations. And so one thing you do want to know is your forever person, that one. Is he or she in a creative career? Oh, that one. The one over there. Sure. Cheers. Let's take a sip here. All right. So let's take a look here. So are they in a creative career? Okay. This, and what else do they want you to know here? I feel like we got this one and this one and this one too. Okay. All right. Interesting here. Okay. I was like, okay, yeah, and they're confirming it's that one. Because we started off with the Ace of Cups, and like, oh wow, they got a lot of self-love. We like that. And they go, "Look," and then underneath that, we got the Ace of Pentacles, so they have a really good sense of their self-worth, and underneath that, Empress, which is, of course, creativity. So with these 3, I just really feel like these are here. Definitely this, and you have the 2 of Cups under there, which is the relationship. They're just basically saying that. Um, so definitely someone in a creative field. Let's see what these, that's the underlying energy. Let's see what these other 2 say. Yeah. The other, big creative energy of the 3 of Pentacles here, so I love that, and we got the 4 of Cups. And what I love about the combination here, because this is about being true to our authentic self and not, being boring, and so I do feel they're not only in creativity, in the creative field, creative career, but they're on the cutting edge, like, they don't do the status quo and do they're like always like a pioneer kind of energy coming in. So what else they'll tell us about this here? Yeah, the 7 of Pentacles. They're a very patient person, but when the fruit isn't bringing them what they want with all this stuff, which is reaffirming their creativity, they will let things go and then try something new as well. And I like that energy that's coming in here. And don't worry, you're quirky and weird enough they never get bored with you. That's funny. But bunksh. We got the King of Cups. Yeah, very compatible. This is that balance of head and heart, and I like that you guys just fit like a glove. It's just so, you just mesh so well together. They would appreciate your creativity and your the quirkiness that you have, and that, like, you like being on the cutting edge, you like doing things differently. You don't, if you do something too much, you get bored with it. You're always wanting to change things up. You're always wanting movement and change and evolution, and they're that very much that way too. Part of this, that fits like a glove. Yeah, Queen of Pentacles, a big nurturer, Mother Nurture energy. Um, so there is that, that compassionate side and that caring person. So it's not someone who's really driven and leaves, people bodies behind them, right? Um, that's the way. Uh-huh, uh-huh. I like it. Uh-huh, uh-huh. And so this is this good energy of nurturing and sensuality, and it's like they're the full picture here, for you here. We got the Justice Libra energy, so very evolved in their thinking about relationship too, because this talks about, Libra ruling over the house of relationships and the chopping away of old thinking, old beliefs. So they're very evolved and unique in relationship too, that they're not all full of these expectations around relationship. They see things from different perspectives, um and I feel like they've had different types of relationships, and they're very open to things, not demanding of things have to be a certain way, very balanced, you know. It's like, wow. And then you've got the 5 of Pentacles. And I do feel like this is something that they really had to work through, which helped them with all this, because they used to have a fear of being abandoned, being left behind, being left out in the cold, all that lack energy from growing up. Um, but they faced those fears and they transformed it. And so that's where that Ace of Cups comes in, where they're very much about their self-love. The Ace of Pentacles makes total sense with all that too, that they found their sense of worth from their inside and not the outside. So some good extra stuff. I know you just want to know about the creative career, but they wanted to let you know more of They didn't wanna just give you the little, they wanted to paint outside, color outside the lines. So, let's see what your fortune cookie brings in here too. Right, this one here. Excuse me. Wow, got a diamond. I know that life is only limited by my imagination. I am dreaming bigger. Yeah, I love that energy there. A lot of feminine energy and all that too, just as a that might have been on your mind here too. But I do feel with that Empress and the Queen of Pentacles, a lot of um, that energy there. So if you were wondering, there you go. All right. So many blessings to you. Thank you again so much for all your donations. All righty. So we are to Jessica 32449. Thank you so much for your patience in getting to your reading here. There is your timestamp. I'll give your donation a love and a like since it lets me. And you want to know why Adrian pretends that he loves you. All right. Let's find out. Okay, let me just shuffle these up a little bit. Get into Adrian's energy and find out why is he pretending? And if so, why? So let's verify here. Is he a pretender? Let's just see what that is here. And I got the Six of Pentacles energy. There's a little bit of codependency energy that's coming in there with it. So I don't feel like they feel like they're pretending. But it's because, yeah, we have the Ace of Cups on the bottom, which I just put back in the middle of the deck and it came out of the bottom here because I just had that a moment ago. But this is about self-love, and that if they don't have like love for this for themselves, then they can only give love to others to the extent they have it for themselves. So they pretend they love you because they pretend they love themselves. And we'll call it the imitation love that they're giving you is what they think love is, because that's all they have for themselves. Very low, 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 uh, self-esteem. Well, not self-esteem or self-love. That's there. So, yes, Jojo, that's what I was saying. All right. So I feel like, with that Six of Pentacles coming out, that's one of my, like I said, it's one of my codependency awareness cards where growing up, they felt they had to give so much to deserve so little that they have that very low self-worth energy that's there. And so they have a lot of this pretend energy around emotion. Um, but if you had asked them and they were like, no, no, it's almost like they're showing me like someone with a counterfeit diamond. And they're like, well, this is all I can afford. This is a diamond. And they're like, no, this is a counterfeit diamond. What's the only diamond I have to offer you? I'm offering you this. And we're like, but it's counterfeit. And they're like, but it's a diamond. Yeah, but put counterfeit in front of it and it's not the diamond that I'm wanting, And it's like, oh, but they've lived it with it for so long, they believe it's real. So hopefully that brings in that essence here. But we'll find out more here about why we got these other cards here too. Yeah, so we've got the Justice card. We got this way out of balance sense of relationship. What's with that? We have the Two of Cups. Yeah, so we got both these cards came out together. I guess I could show you them together because Libra rolls over the house of relationships and the scales. Um, has this energy of being out of balance, and this goes back to how they were raised. So if we're going, well, why do they think this way? It's like, well, that's what they knew. no one ever taught them to love themselves, and they didn't get a whole lot of love from outside of themselves growing up, and so their world was painted a certain way, and they don't know any different. And so, it's like when you're saying they pretend that they love you, they're like, "What? I don't get it," because this is what they grew up in, right? It's almost like if you grow up on an island away from the world and you're taught that this is green, and really, we've been taught this is gray. I think this is gray. But and then you were like, "Why are you wearing that gray shirt?" And they're like, "What do you mean it's green?" And you're like, "No, that is gray." And you're like, "What? No, this is green. What are you talking about?" And then they're kinda confused because they don't understand. That's the kind of energy, isn't it interesting? But it's a lot of how they were raised. Um, yeah, we have the Ace of Pentacles, which is they are on this journey of trying to find their self-worth in relationship to the outside world in a different way. They were taught that their worth and their lovability has to do a lot with things in the outside world, the physical, not the emotional. So again, it's what they are think and were told love isn't. Like maybe they didn't get a lot of love, but they got gifts given to them, instead. It's like if their dad left them when they were young and he'd bring over presents, but not give them affection and emotion. They thought, "Oh, when people give you gifts, that means they love you." That's what love is these material things. That's the kind of energy I feel here a little bit. We also got the temperance, energy here. What's interesting with this, they temperance is like a slow moving card. It's alchemy. It's, these 2 cups, things going back and forth, slowly transforming. But I'm getting here because, like, with the Justice card, it was very much a way out of balance, perspective. The Temperance card feels like it's a alchemy that has slowed down so much, it almost feels like growth and change has gone to a standstill with them. Let me see if they'll tell us why here. Yeah, and the Hanged Man too, which is a pausing energy to see things from a different perspective. So even though it feels like the outside and things have kind of like on the inside, let's see what's below the surface here. Yeah, they are very much pulled back here in hermit energy, looking for this transformation of the world card, trying to end an old cycle. So below the surface, they are looking to try to change that for them because, I feel like they are realizing that they don't see the world clearly and they don't want to keep repeating the same old cycles of things in their life either. But it comes down to their self-love. It's like moving to a foreign country, not speaking their language at all and trying to pick it up without any classes or internet or YouTube videos or apps that you can learn, and you're just kind of trying to learn by how you interact with people. Very slow going and not very successful. Well, not as successful as if, you're a native speaker. So you speak the language of love, and they don't. They're like, "'Kay? No." Right. Let's see what your fortune cookie brings into. Hopefully that helps bring some clarity there. Let's see what else we have here from the Moon Oracle. Yeah, we got change energy coming in. So let's see what this brings in, because I do feel like they're trying to change, but the question is, will they change fast enough, right? The answer is
No.
okay. Let's calm no. Says accept change. Life, like the seasons, is about to change. Take advantage of change energy and plan ahead. Your affirmation is I welcome change and I ride its energy. One of the great truths in life is that change is constant. It is unavoidable, and we can resist all we want, but nothing truly stays the same. It is better then to prepare and even direct change by setting intentions and building our personal power from the inside out. That's kind of what they're going through, right? So this maybe represents their energy, because they are changing from the inside out, and we being on the outside don't see the change till it all happens on the inside, right? And it usually takes time for it to get from here to out here. Seasonally, there are times of the year that have at their essence a profound sense of change, usually the shoulder seasons of autumn and spring. It is at these times of year we can feel more easily the shift between one season and another. In autumn, the nights grow longer and there's a chill when darkness falls that wasn't there just weeks before. The breeze that blows is no longer balmy. The birds we've been watching all summer seem to have packed up and left, and in their place, new species appear to strut their stuff. We begin to dress with more layers, and we may even hunger for different foods. All these are signals of change. In spring, it's all about waking up and warming up, and the opposite happens. All these are signals of change. The moon shines down upon the winds of change, the clearing storms, the electric crackle of lightning, and the boom of thunder echoing across the valley. There is great energy to be channeled in such a time and to be focused towards riding change with joy and ease. And your companion stone is serpentine. So if you're into crystals or stones, you can check those out. But yeah, this is the thunder moon. It does feel like there's about to be thunder and lightning and change that comes in here, which will either be the lightning bolt of them being removed out of your life to make space for someone that's more in alignment for you, or a change that happens within them and a transformation. Because I feel like it's getting to that point, right? Things can't stay the way it is. It either needs to go evolution or what is it? Disillusion, or what do they call it when people blow up buildings? Destruction. Evolution or destruction. Which one is it going to be, right? But that's up to you too. You don't have to wait. You can decide for yourself right now and go, boom, boom. All right. Hopefully that helps, Jessica. That's what they have for you. Thank you again for your donation. Appreciate you. All right. So I think that was it for the donations. Let me just check one more time here. Yep. And I don't think I got any other free reading requests. Nope. So we've got Maria P. Maria. So Maria P. We've got 337.05 for your free reading. So thank you for your donations earlier. I put free here. Oops. Oh, I put a 3 in there too. A general for you in love and work. Let's see here. What does Spirit want you to know about love? And what about work? All right. So, love, you got the 3 of Cups. Joy, 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 celebration. There's also here about this is a gathering of tribe and groups. So I feel like there's something coming up here that involves joint friends coming together. So some sort of party or some sort of celebration that both of you guys attend together. I feel like that's a significant event for you that I feel like maybe they've come to 1 or 2 things before, or you've definitely gone to things for them, like school and stuff, but I feel like this is almost feels like a mix between some of your friends, some of their friends are all together. Not like specifically, but I feel like at a big celebration and you guys happen to be there and you bump into your friends, you bump into their friends. Um, and so it feels like a joyful thing that you're like, wow, I don't feel like I'm being hidden, um, kind of energy, which is good for you. Work-wise, you've got the Wheel of Fortune. So there is expansion with Saturn energy here. There is abundance energy, the wheels are turning, at work, and so, the other readings we did around work very much support this about there is change happening, ending and beginning energy, but it is for you, it is expansive, it is can involve ching, 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 money too that's coming in here. So I know it feels like, okay, we've been asking, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. But when we're talking about that Six of Pentacles, that's an important energy for you because if your inner child is like, we don't deserve that yet, it's pushing it off and pushing it off and pushing it off. So the more that you can look into that Six of Pentacles energy we talked about in your last reading, um, this will help you balance this out and allows things to come to you sooner instead of later. So I like that for you. All right. So that is what they have for you, my dear. And I think let me just do one quick look. I don't want to make sure I missed over anyone here. And I think that is it. I don't think I have anyone else. So if you guys haven't got into my drawing that I have every new moon and full moon for a chance at winning a 30-minute personal recorded reading or one of my energetic hedges, here's the link. The playlist is always in the description area and on my main page. If you want to ever find out about the giveaways and I just think it's drawings, winners and drawing announcements, it's something like that. But the link is down in the description too. But you just click on that little link and they'll tell you how to get into that drawing, which I'll have on the 18th of March, and I'll put out a video announcing the winner. Also, before each new and full moon, I do put out a video talking about how to make the most of that moon energy. New moons, you get 10 new moon wishes, 10, I keep on calling them inspirations tonight. I don't know why, intentions. 10 new moon wishes, 10 intentions. And it tells you how to make the most of that, especially around Pisces energy. And then if you haven't checked out my podcast, I do have a free podcast. Every 2 weeks, we have a new adventure come out. And this last one was called Window Wonder. Of course, if you want to catch up on the entire series, the links are down in the description area and at my main page as well. So I think that is everything that I have right now. I'm on Wednesday through Sunday nights. So I'll be back tomorrow and Sunday. If you'd like to join me, till then, remember every second of every day of your life, you truly are eternally and unconditionally loved by the Mother and the Father of all things, our Creator. And of course, I love you too. So until I see you again, much love. Hang in there. Take care of yourself. And why are you being so serious? Let's go have some fun. Let's play. It's a giant playground. Let's go. All right. I love you guys. We'll see you soon.